You're listening to UFO Undercover with your host, Joe Montaldo, right here on the Paranormal Radio Network.
Looking for something new in dark fantasy, humor, space exploration, time travel, alternative history? They're in the L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future anthology. Get the 10-volume box set with 159 stories and full color illustrations plus 34 articles with writings and art tips. Get the UPRN discount, $125 for the entire box set. That's a $60 savings for that beautiful box set. L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future. Go to uprntalkradio.com, click on the link, and place your order.
Looking for stories that are fresh and new? Dark fantasy, humor, space exploration, time travel, cyberpunk, alternate history, and more. They're in the L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future anthology. From 24 award-winning authors and illustrators, plus art and writing tips and bonus stories. L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future. Buy your copy at galaxypress.com, Amazon, or wherever books are sold.
I had enough.
Well, you drove out there into the middle of nowhere and had some sort of loud verbal display challenging ET in general out in the middle of nowhere?
That's what I was doing. I actually had a pistol in my hand at the time. I was really ticked off. When I was having this fit, I was waving the gun in the air, okay, and I had this fit. And at this moment, I said, okay.
He was a Louisiana man named Montaldo. Folks around called him Six Gun Joe. Worked with ICAR, don't you know? Investigating UFOs. Out for a drive with a gal one night, they stopped to check out the reporting site. When an alien lit right there on the ground, he commenced to throwing his weight around. Now, old Six Gun didn't take too kindly to that kind of thing, especially without Vaseline or anything like that, you know. Seriously. Well, Six Gun looked that critter right in the eye and said, "Any last wish before you die?" Yo, reached for his gun, quick as a twitch, and said, "Fill your claw, you son of a bitch." Now a legend spread across the land about this pistol-waving man. But if you're from space or from Earth below, you don't give no lip to Six Gun Joe.
That intro song is probably older than half the people listening to this damn show. Shame on you people. That was actually sent to me a long time ago. This guy who used to come listen to us, this is way long time ago, who used to come listen to us before we had any organizations or radio shows. And he just hated what we were saying about aliens and UFOs. He just hated it. And I had just started hosting Wake Up USA, a UFO study. This is 25, 26 years ago. And I was talking about a particular account that happened in Honey Island Swamp. And that's what that whole song is about. And he just turned it into a song. He thought I was going to be furious when I heard it. And I laughed so hard. I wrote to him, I said, "Can I use it as the intro?" And he was like, "She's like shitting me, right?" And I'm like, "No, we've been good friends ever since." I liked it. I thought it was funny, entertaining. Kind of got the point across at the same time. It was one of those things. who is who? I don't know who this woman is sitting next to me. Look, I think there's a name across the screen for. Oh wait, that's right. If you're only listening, you see, you don't know who this is sitting next to me. Oh, you don't know. This could be Kamala Harris, as far as you know. Winston Churchill. Wait a minute. I gotta stop for a minute. All right. I don't even know why you wrote that, Bobby. That was retarded. I know you can see us because you're listening to us on Facebook, but oh man, I don't think she looks like Winston Churchill. No, if she did, I'd be really scared at the moment. I'm just saying, I'd be running for the door. I've been knowing her for a while now. What do you mean? Who is she? I don't know. She's just a stranger that just showed up and popped in. Said, "Hey, can I come on your radio show?" I was like, "Sure, come on." I heard she was out in some jungle setting just a couple of weeks ago, or some desert setting a couple of weeks ago. I don't know what to tell y'all. Charis, I'm sorry. How you doing, sweetie? Oh shit. Okay, I'll give you a proper introduction, but I can't stop laughing. Oh Lord. Okay, maybe. Anyway, I've been knowing Charis for a long time. I don't know, like 5 years or something, like 6 maybe. Yeah. It's way longer than that. Yes.
Over 10, I think.
Oh yeah, I think it's even longer than that. Yeah, I think it's even longer than that. Damn, we can't even say that on air. We're sorry. No, we only know each other like 3 years until we're going back to the original. No, because the more I think about it, the longer it gets. No. Well, because it was right after Katrina. Katrina was like 18 years ago. Yeah, and even that seems long to me these days. Yes, but Miss Brown, how have you been? You've been staying out of trouble, or?
For the most part, I've been doing my best, but sometimes trouble finds you. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I'm shaking my head. I don't believe her. No, she's like a trouble magnet. Do. No,
mind my business, and here it comes.
But I will. This is on a more serious note. So, out of all the people I know that we're going to category peace, love, and light, because I know if I do it any other way, I'm gonna get in trouble. She's actually the truest of heart I've met so far. It's no, really. I mean, she stays the course. Where I watched a lot of people, kind of go into like, how much money can I make? And well, no, it's fine for people to make money. Reading cards for money and doing things for people is fine. It's just believing and not believing is two different things. Or maybe believing is a bad way to say it. Maybe doing is a better way of saying it. Yes. Oh, I'll tell you what, you can catch her. She talks. She's on all the time on Instagram. Go see her. From time to time, she pops up on screen, so I check her out while I'm there. She got 3 husbands. Sorry, dude. Sorry. I don't know what to tell you. You're just out of luck. That's the limit she can have is 3. Yeah, she's in this Martian cult. I'm just
These are lies.
I'm going to get us all in trouble tonight. No, actually, her and I have talked to aliens quite a lot over the years, and quite seriously. I mean, I'm just kidding around right now, but because I know Jay is going to pop in the middle of the conversation. But really and truly, we have, and just so you've watched some of the things on the government channel. I mean, the government channel. I guess it is the government channel, but I know you've watched like CNN or NBC or whoever you're watching to see how these trials, well, I shouldn't call them trials, how these interviews have been going in Congress. Now, unfortunately, I'm too skeptical for my own good sometimes. That's why I like talking to other people. But some stuff I was fine with. When the pilot started talking, I was like, yeah, these guys know what the hell they're talking about. And then this Crush guy starts talking. I'm thinking, all right, we're going to get a good, somebody who knows something. And the more he talked, the more skeptical I became. So maybe it's just me. I tell people all the time, sometimes it's just JoJo gets like, ooh, I get a little on the, well, one, I've learned if you know too much, you're not true. Well, I know a lot, but I don't know too much. No, I do know a lot, but this field is impossible to know too much. I'm just telling you now. But when you're in a setting like him, so let's look at this from a different point of view. So this guy gets dropped in. He's way up in the security. I mean, way up. He's a big time spy is what he is. So, okay, they drop him down here thanks to Greer, which I've never trusted Greg, to be honest with that. It's not that I dislike the guy. I'm just not real trusting of him. I do think that it did help bring a lot of attention to the field. But anyway, moving on. So this guy gets down. He starts talking. First thing out of his mouth is, well, yeah, they just fall out the sky when they come through the portal. I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, well, they've been coming a few thousand years, so why haven't they quit coming here if they keep falling out the sky? I mean, after you've lost X amount of beings and ships, you would think, oh, well, Earth's not a good place to go, or whatever the hell they call us. And I'm like, so, and then he starts talking about them shooting down. So, well, why haven't they shot back? I'm thinking, or why? We know they can come in and take people all the time. So why don't you just retrieve their craft and their people? So the more he talked, the more this got more smellier and smellier and smellier. And it sounded more like he had been instructed on what to say by someone, obviously, who does not know what the aliens are doing on this freaking planet. And when you look, some of the witnesses, like I said, are just right on the button. And some of them are like, it's really truly the only one I didn't like is the Crush guy. Shame on me, but I don't. Just something about the guy's bugging me. Mm. And usually when something's bugging me, it turns out to be something. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I've been doing this for too long. Well, maybe not. We're going to send Charis down there as a spy. We're going to give her a camera and get her a press pass and send her down there as a spy.
Some vlogs.
Oh wait, not a press pass. We'll get her a congressional ID. Oh no, you're trying to get the girl put in jail. Quit that.
No, politics is a jail, right?
No.
Agenda. Yes. I mean, I think that stuff. It's interesting because I just so happened. You know how you get logged on to stuff. I just so happened to come across it on a completely different social media thing that I never watched the news on the first day, when they were talking about the cube-shaped ones and the orbs that were see-through. And I thought to myself, fantastic. I mean, I've never heard nor seen of crafts like that, but who knows? There's a million different races pop through. And so it's not that I think that what they're saying is necessarily true, but as you know, I'm not concerned with the top-down disclosure method. Like, I don't care. Because
you've been disclosed to.
Yeah, they don't care what your mayor is doing, in my experience, or what.
No, that's true.
They're going to come right to you in your brain, in your dreams, in your house. So, but I think that since so many people who are abducted or contacted or whatever delete it out of their mind right after, this is a cool way of like inching open the door, so that people will have the neuronal net made in their waking mind. So then after they have contact, they'll have a place to put it. So I think it's all part of it, but you can never go on the nose with the government. Of course, it's never on the nose.
Yeah,
and
that's true. Gonna be. Well, no, she makes a good point, guys. I mean, I hate to say it, but even bad press is good press when it comes to these kind of things. I mean, we're looking for answers, and for people like us, it's, hey, Susan, we're looking for a little bit different things. We're looking for answers, but we're looking for answers for different reasons than the government's looking for. So, and once you've been exposed to this in some shape, form, or fashion, usually in a contact fashion, because that's really how it is, there is I've said this 100. If I had $1 for every time I said they've already disclosed, everybody want to disclose, so I could be just like a billionaire by now, people. I'm not kidding you. It's they've disclosed, and they leave it to us and everyone else who's been taken or messed with to disclose themselves in any any fashion that they want to. Well, yeah, there's a lot of people we would call that are contactees that have come out. They're like communicators. They get out there. Well, because contact's different for a lot of people. But anyway, they're out there just talking about it. And again, there are some times where the contact is questionable or the memory is questionable. But if the person's not doing it, to cause harm, it's a little bit different than someone out there who's trying to defraud something for whatever reason, get on TV, make some money. Well, yes, right now contact's hot. So if you wanted to go on TV and do contact stories, it's pretty hot right now. Well, I had a real good thing with Netflix, and I don't know what happened with them, but it happened before COVID, and then they contacted me after COVID and said they were still going to do it. They want to do contact reenactments. I don't know. Last time they did two reenactments, and we did 2 things. But as far as I know, no, because I'm just narrating. I can be sitting right here and narrate. It's no, they did 2 of them, and they looked pretty good, but I haven't heard, seen, or anything. Now, I'll be notified when they reached it. The idea was to do 14 for 2 years, 14 each year. So I don't know. And maybe too many people are leaving Netflix. I don't really know, man. Yes, I do, Bruce. They have gotten expensive. I think they're $23 now for one line, and then they don't want you to use it anywhere but in your own house. Mm. Yes, I see that Jeff Bezos and the rest of them didn't follow suit with that. Oh no, just use it wherever you are. We don't care. Because you lose too many customers that way. Well, because really, when it gets down to it, a lot of people come out. I don't. It's hard to put a number on what the percentage is of people who have been exposed to extraterrestrial contact that actually come forward. I would really want to say in a 2 or 3%. I mean, it could be higher, but I would really want to say it was in the 2 and 3% of the people who have actually been legitimately taken. About 96% really they probably have dreams and things that are manifesting here and there, but they really haven't really grasped what it was. And more than likely, it's because ET has realized. See, people like Charis are different. She probably showed early on an interest in it. She's just energetic like that. She was probably like, "Oh well, shit, this looks fun, or this looks interesting, or exploring." So that's different. But a lot of people are like, it's like taboo. Get back. I'm scared, and so they never really ever will find out. No, they'll never find out. So there's a big chunk of the population that, well, frankly, they don't want to know. And you know what? I hate to say this, they might be better off not knowing. But when it all comes down, I guess whatever blocks are there will probably leave. And you're right. I said that before. It's always possible, but the population of abductees will get mad and want to sue the government for being abducted and contacted and experimented on. That's up to them and ET. I don't know who's settling that. I can't settle on that.
Which lawyer are you going to get to do that for you?
I don't know. John's writing in. Where are you at, John? Burbanks, Alaska, Burbanks? Or Burbanks, California? Burbanks, Alaska. I want to see some snow, man. Send me a picture. I ain't seen snow down here. I don't even want to tell you when. What's your question? I'm just giving you trouble. Okay. So he's wanting to know if people like us should get more involved in the testimonies with Congress, because Congress has reached out to other people. I don't know if I want to get up on the stage and get. I don't look. I'll do behind scenes all day long, but I don't know if I want to get it. I have to work, people.
I agree.
Yes, I have a job.
It's like a big quilt, right? And everyone's got their own square to hold. And I don't have any interest in doing government. Like, I don't. Yes. That's a whole other game. I'm like, no.
Well, because I mean, I don't know. I'm with Charis on this. Besides that, if they start asking me about whose contactees, I can't tell them anyway. I'm under disclosure agreements. Exactly. And then they're gonna want to get all nasty and stuff because I don't want to tell them. Mm-hmm. But I take a. You see, that's the difference between me. Now, I did bring this up recently at a meeting online. I said somebody asked me if I was testifying, would I be willing to be polygraphed? And of course, the answer is yes. Yeah, I would sit there and they could ask me questions all day long about it.
Why not? No reason to lie.
Because what I know. Anything else, I'd just say, hey, I don't know. Or I could say, it's, we lost Charis. Or I could say it's something else. Yes, I could. Mm-hmm. No, anyway. Well, while she's going, who's, no, she probably just got disconnected. Who's my favorite alien abductee? I don't even know anymore. No, because the two I like best don't want to be talked about anymore. Yeah. One of them, actually both of them, had written to me, and this is a while back, at least 10 years. They had written to me, both of them had written to me and asked me if we could take down everything we had on them. Mm-hmm. Well, unfortunately, when you do a lot of radio like we do, it's they go a lot of places. So right now, if we were to put out an archive, it's going to go out to at least 200 different archive sites. And it's at least that many live sites it's going to. So they're going to be connected to all of that. Yes, connected to all of it. I don't know. But anyway, it's one of those things you get stuck with. So it's hard to get it all down. And you don't know how many people along the way who may have downloaded their cells, maybe have put it in their office, in their computer, and have it, just ready to listen to at another time. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Well, when she gets back, we'll talk about that. We'll ask her about it. But who's my fee? No, I don't know. Well, abductions are one of those things that it takes a lot to understand. And abductions and contact are not the same thing. Abductions is something you start remembering. Um, the contact itself is not usually in a good light. I'm not saying it's not always. There might be someone good light, but most of them are not. Most of them it's because you're being abducted. You're being forcibly removed from wherever you are and forcibly brought aboard a spacecraft and experimented upon and then put back with your memories altered. Usually just wiped. These days, they don't really alter them anymore. They just kind of wipe them now. Less chance of you remembering something. Cover memories allowed for things to break through. Yes, cover memories truly allowed for things to break through. Well, I mean, an example of a cover memory. I haven't really. Well, we got her back. Real quick example of a cover memory is just a memory they overlay over whatever it is they've done to you. That, oh, damn, hold on a second. My damn throat's getting itchy. It's just something they lay over to hide the original memory. Yeah, they want to make sure they try to, but there's a difference between cover memories and waking memories. Waking memories. All right. So let's say something weird happened to you. But anyway, let's say you're walking down the street, you see this big 4-foot owl standing next to you. Okay. Most people would think that was a cover memory. That's not a cover memory. That's a waking memory. And what I mean by that is that's a memory left for you to experiment, to explore. Why did I see a big foot? Because, first off, you probably live somewhere where they don't have 4-foot owls. You're probably going, what the hell is this? Or it's sitting on your ledge or something. These are things because somewhere along the line, you expressed an interest to the aliens in what they're doing. And they somewhere decided, okay, well, we'll break them into it slowly but surely to see if they really are. And they'll start with stuff like that or other things, depending on what it is, depending on what your level of participation is going to be, or what your level of participation you want to be involved in. I don't know why I couldn't spit that out. Well, no, Charis is I don't know what you would consider it. She's definitely up there with the keepers and the communicators. Well, she's definitely communicating. She's out there every day communicating to y'all, but all kinds of stuff.
Ground crew vibes.
Yeah. Catch her on Instagram. Yeah. Well, I don't know what time. Ask her. Don't ask me. Okay, they want to know. Do you have any set times they can catch you on Instagram?
No, but I try to go live most days of the week. More and more lately. So usually I hop on a live. Maybe I'll start doing a set time. I don't know.
Just make her a friend and you'll know when she comes on. Yeah, you pop on. Yeah, just hit like, and then you'll know when it comes on. Well, no, my Instagrams are always on. So are my Facebook pages. Somebody says there, it always says you're there, but you're never there. I said, because it's always on. And I'm not always there. The same thing with the Instagram pages or the LinkedIn pages. They stay on. It always shows us on because, they're always on. They're doing something. They're, carrying radio shows or something else, letting people chat, whatever the hell might be going on. All right, Don, I'll ask her. So Don had asked me earlier who my favorite alien was. I'm not sure what he meant by this, but do you have a favorite alien?
Like a race? Like a favorite?
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't even a clear question. So what do you think, Don? Are we talking like a television alien? Are we talking about like an alien race? Okay, well, we want to be clarified here.
I mean, there are different ones that are cool for different reasons, The mansions are pretty cool. Like they're interesting. They seem to be I've never heard a story about one that wasn't cool. Like that was harmful or scary. I don't know. What about you, Joe?
What do you mean? I am not a reptilian. Well, maybe. Well, I am part reptilian because everybody on the planet is part reptilian. So I can't just. I've been preaching this for 3 decades, and every time I'll be doing a lecture somewhere, doing something online, and I just like 3 weeks ago, and I'm talking. There's about 200 people, 300 people, just chatting, and the guy goes, "Well, I've heard you say that we all have reptilian section in brain. That's not true. God would not allow that." Now, I was polite, even though I didn't want to be polite. I was polite. I said, how do you know? Did God come and tell you that? I said, why? I mean, God might not decide he wanted to waste stuff and use parts of the reptilian to make us out of creation. I said, he took it out to, the ground on, created you. I said, so how do you know there wasn't some reptilian mud up in there? Which just made him even madder. I couldn't help myself though. But the point is, it's there. I mean, all you got to do, if you don't believe us people, go look up online, see what it does. It's what makes us, it doesn't make us aggressive, but it's what makes us, so people aren't ripping us off or doing bad things to it.
Yeah.
Yes. It's it's there, and it's very useful for most humans. Well, no, it also gives you a sense of there's a part of it that gives you a sense of euphoria. So it's a really strange setup, but it's there, and it also shows that that we have a reptilian ancestry. Well, it could be like the Sumerians and the Dogon said, that the human aliens created a slave race, and the reptilians came and freed the slave race by interbreeding with them and creating us, the race that's here today. Yeah. I'm just telling you what they say. Well, the Sumerians had created the 7 creations of man, and the last creation was a race that looked just like us and acted a lot like us, but they weren't self-aware in the fashion that we were. They didn't have this self-awareness, but when the reptilians interbred with them, it gave them that self-awareness. They became sentient in the fact that they were like, why am I plowing a damn field? Why don't you go plow the field? Why am I making beer for you? Why don't you go make it? It was just, and then just questions of why that they weren't asking before. Yeah, they could, well, no, the other race could make beer and procreate and do things like that, but they didn't ask why. They were the ones out in the field toiling in the sun and heat. They didn't really ask any kind of questions. They just did what they were told. That's what they were. And then the reptilians, and I don't know why they had reptilians intervene. There's a lot of stories on why. Some people said it was to aggravate the human aliens. Some people said it was to free the human race into what it's supposed to be. But I don't know why, because I'm sure, for a long time, the reptilians kept colonies here, probably had a full-blown world here until the asteroid came. I don't know. What do you mean? Why they didn't get the asteroid out the way? Well, this was 60-something million years ago. They might not have the technology they have today. Yes, it also tells you how advanced they are, though, that 60 million years ago, they could leave the planet. A lot of them went underground, though. There's some live up there by Charis, not too far from where she's at. They live, a lot of them live up in their mines in West Virginia. I got to be careful up there, people.
Well, all kinds of things in out there.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know. The Greys are probably my favorite just because they're a pain in the ass. Literally.
And there's so many different kinds of grays.
Yeah, and they are too. That's the other thing. There are a bunch of different kinds of grays. There's different heights, different sizes, different colors. It's what's like the reptilians. There's like 9 or 10, 11 different types of reptilian. Some are water breathers, some can have gills, some have wings, and they're all still the same animal, or I should say the same being. It's just for whatever reason, whatever planet they were on, that's what they needed to survive. Well, because they adjusted, they're a colonized world. They live all over the place. Humans were probably the same way. It's just now we're just getting to that point of evolution. Right now, we're stuck right here. We're going to go to Mars soon. We're going to all go live with Elon. Yes. Charis, you should marry Elon.
Oh, God. I think he's taken.
No, he has no wife. He ain't got nothing right now. He done kicked the other one to the curb. But he likes kids. So you'd have to have like 2 kids, man. But he gives, when the kids are born, he gives each one $2 million.
Well, as he should. I mean, he's their dad.
Man, he is stinking filthy rich. What? Oh, I know, guys. Stop. Okay, I know I got a man crush on Elon. Stop it. It's because this is the guy who stood Putin down. I mean, give me a break. Elon Musk, the richest African American in the world, stands Putin down. I mean, come on. He's like this tall. Anyway, I'm impressed with the guy. I mean, Putin goes on, tells him something about I'm going to do something to you. He said, you do know I can use my satellites to knock your missiles out of the sky, right? He said, you know that. He said, I can produce rockets, missiles, satellites much faster than you can produce one nuclear weapon. He said, so don't threaten me. I'll knock your intercontinental ballistic missiles. He will too. He said how he would do it and everything. So right now he's got 12,000 of them up in space. He just made the Russian nuclear fleet a complete dull. He just washed it out. And he lives here in America, so thank God he loves us. That's all I can say. Well, it's reversed that maybe he just loves himself, but still, thank God he's living in our country then. But I mean, it's crazy he said that. And then he talks about how he's going to build the satellite around Mars, the satellite system like he's got here around Mars, and interconnect it to in real time. So Mars will have internet just like we do, and they'll even be able to connect each other. He said in under 6 minutes, to go in both ways. With
Wow.
it's the man is brilliant. He's scary brilliant, though. Yes. What do you mean? No, I was kidding. Charis married. Elon's weird. He's he likes them goth girls. I don't know. There's no accounting for taste, and when you're the richest man in the world, you can do whatever the hell you want. I mean, let's just be honest about it. Jeff Bezos likes weird blondes. Both. I've listened to his wife speaking. I've listened to his girlfriend speaking. They're a little. What do you mean? Are they stupid? No, they're not stupid. I don't think he'd be around a stupid woman, but I couldn't tolerate a stupid woman. But they were just. I don't know. I can't find a word for it, but they were just off. I guess when you're that stinking wealthy, Richie. I mean, his wife is now worth what, $100 million. She's, I think, either the first or second richest woman in the world. What do you mean she didn't work for him? Yeah, she did. She was married to the butthole for however long she was married to him. Yeah, that works for me. It's like playing roulette. You never know. So, Charis, what do you think? I mean, how the government should go about this? I mean, who should they be looking to speak to? Should they be reaching deep into the field? Should they be wanting to speak to contactees?
I think they should be wanting to look at the research from all the organizations that have been stacking up research for the last however many years, like ICAR and the others. I think they should just put a task force on cataloging everything, trying to get a view of it, and then see where to go. But the hilarious thing is, depending on where you are, they already know. They're not the ones who don't know. Maybe the ones on the press briefing that we're seeing don't know. But if you're going to talk about the government as a whole entity, come on now. They know what's going on.
So somebody knows. There's no doubt that somebody knows. I've met some people over the years that definitely know. I mean, I shouldn't say it like that. So it is still compartmentalized, but they know enough that they know it's real. That might be a better way of saying it.
Yeah. Things come out all the time.
Well, Jackie, the people don't. Okay, millions of people have come out and said, yeah, aliens are real, or they've tried to talk to the congressman or write to this is why this is going on. They've had enough people write to the government that this is going on, thanks to Barack Obama, which I never thought I'd say that, but I don't actually like Obama on some things, but he decided to set up a thing on the government, the .gov site, where you can say that you want to ask a question. And it was in the beginning, if you got 25,000 answers or responses, the government would take a look at it. Then I think they raised it to 125 or 140,000 or 50. Anyway, they raised it up. But still, if it reaches that goal, the government itself will actually take a look at the post you put up there and see what it's going to do. And if they can figure something out, they will. Well, this has been done. Stephen Bissett's done it 3 or 4 times. We've done it at least twice. God knows how many other people have done it. So, I mean, they know the American public wants to know. Even the public that doesn't know anything about this wants to know, because it's a game changer for everybody. If tomorrow the government comes out, if our government comes out tomorrow and says, you know what, extraterrestrials are real. They have been taking our citizens. They've been here for tens of thousands of years. We still don't know exactly what it is they want with us, but they are here, and they don't seem to be hostile in the way that they're trying to take the planet over. So they could come out and tell us, which would scare the hell out of everybody. But at the end, if they said, no, it doesn't look like they're trying not to take us over, then they may feel calmer about it. Or they could just keep on the whatchamacallit program they're on, where they just do a little bit at a time. What do you think, Charis?
Disclosure. I mean, I don't think people would freak out. I think look at every bit of disclosure that's happened. I don't know, the past however long we've known each other, Joe. And in the contactee world, we'll be like, oh, it's a huge moment of disclosure, and nobody cares. No one freaks out. No one floods the streets. I think we'd be cooler than they think.
I think so, mostly.
Yeah, and the people who freak out, they're gonna freak out about something sooner or later. I mean, there's no one to shoot at. Like, they've always been here.
I know. What do you mean, Scotty? No, I don't think the Israeli war has anything to do with aliens.
No, that's a human thing.
That has to deal with stupidity. We'll leave it at that. Oh no, you want to hear about that? Come on Friday night. We talk about it all the time. Come on Friday night, and you'll hear what our opinions are about it. I don't know. We don't usually let Charis because she's so sweet. We don't like her to come talk politics. We don't want to get in trouble with her fans.
It won't satisfy people. I don't like to fight, so people who are they're not gonna like it.
Yes. What do you mean, my fans? Look, my fans know me well enough to know I'm just going to speak my mind. Whatever it is, they get pissed. They can just, whatever. It's no, most of them come back because we're really good at what we do. I don't think this government. Okay, let me rephrase this. Okay, I'm going to get in trouble for this. Okay, Trump's government wanted to know about aliens. Trump's government wanted to know a lot of things, just like Clinton's government wanted to know a lot of things. There are presidents that really have an interest in this. Remember, Trump started Space Command. He knew we needed something. The last person that even talked about putting something and doing this in space was Reagan and Clinton, and they were talking about it together. So these were two opposite, one's a Republican, one's a Democrat, and they were talking about we need this. Well, Ronald Reagan instituted Star Wars, Pine Gap, and the Hart Facility. Yes. So Star Wars, we all thought Star Wars was for shooting down Russian missiles. Come to find out that was not true. These things can launch things into space. They take these discs and they put it on top of the laser and they superheat it and they shoot it into space. Yeah, these things are big enough the 2 or 3 of them together is big enough to wipe out cities. So these were not designed for shooting down little, rockets. I don't know what these were designed for. Maybe motherships or something. But anyway, so the rumor was that they went down to Pine Gap. Well, Pine Gap said they closed. Well, ICAR busted Pine Gap because a friend of ours found some lading labels for Pine Gap in 2003, 4, 5, 6, and 7 when they were supposedly closed. So we put them on the internet and they actually came out and said, no, we're not closed. So Pine Gap, if y'all don't know what Pine Gap is, that's in Australia. That is the joint British-American defense of outer space. Now, remember, outer space is beyond the moon, people. Technically, it's beyond the solar system, but we'll be just nice and say it's beyond the moon. Okay. What the hell are we defending ourselves for? The Hart facility is to aid the Pine Gap facility. So what they say is the one can launch a beam that can be caught by a disc and then sent back to the other one to super speed it and then shoot through the ionosphere and be charged as it's going through using our own Earth's energy to charge the beam. Sounds like pretty serious technology. And it sounds like if it hits you, it's going to mess you up. So I don't know. But why would we do that? And remember, Ronald Reagan was the president that got up there and said, it would take an alien invasion to unite our planet. Let's hope one never happens. And then institutes all these programs. I think he knew something. I think George Bush told him, there's aliens out there and they may not be friendly. And Ronald Reagan said, really? Okay, let's go take care of this. No, everything I said is absolutely true. You can check it out for yourselves, people. I don't know why. And then here comes Trump later on. He got the same idea. He put Space Command. And look, Biden didn't want to touch Space Command. He thought it was a good idea. Obama actually thought it was a good idea, but could never get it through Congress. Trump just had control of Congress at the time and ran it through real quick. I don't know. I met 2 of the Space Commanders. Okay, I met some of the Space Cadets, which cracks me if they call themselves that shit. I just can't believe they do that. Anyway, I got to stop laughing about that. But I met John Goodwin from Galaxy Press. Introduced me to the 2-star general the year before last and the head of Space Command last year. And they're very nice guys. We talked a while. The one guy had an interest. He pulled me on the side later in the evening and wanted to talk to me about some of the other things that him and I talked about off the wall. And I know, guys, I'm not going to mention it because it's all stuff we've talked about here before, but it's not stuff that he probably wants y'all talking or hearing about. And I'm not going to tell you his name, but you can go look him up. So it's not that complicated. No, Writer's the Future has nothing to do with aliens. Where the hell did you get that from? No. Anyway, he just introduced me to the guy. He was a keynote speaker at the gala event for Writers of the Future. I go there to work media every year. I'm friends with John, and John introduced me to him. It wasn't nothing nefarious. Yes. Y'all are evil, man. There are people evil. I'm sending y'all all home with Charis. I don't know. Jay said he was coming there. I didn't see him. He might have collapsed. He said he had a long, hard day today when I talked to him earlier. Yeah, well, when you work for a living, that's what happens. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'll ask her. So what do you mean regular communication with an alien or a spirit? No, you got to be more clear. So, are you talking about with a spirit? Yes, like spirit, or a ghosty, or an alien. What are you talking about? So, you want to know if she has regular communications with an alien that tells her how to divine things. Okay, I was lost, but I just repeated what he just wrote. So,
Okay. Not these days. For a while I did. What generally has happened with me is every time I get an expansion to my understanding, I'll kind of get hand holded by somebody until I've got a good handle on it, and then it'll fade out. So the second Starseed book I wrote, Instruction of a Starseed, is a bunch of transcribed lessons and conversations that I had with my extraterrestrial guide at the time. So it's like a year or two of just stuff we would talk about. So yeah, I can't at any given time I can connect, but I'd prefer not to be codependent, so I don't necessarily ask for stuff all the time from anybody. It's like getting a teacher. Like you have a teacher until you finish the course, and then you hopefully maintain what you learned and move on and keep expanding.
that's a good thing. Well, no, guides come and go. All guides come and go. At least, well, I'm sure some people have one guide all their lives, but from my experience, it seems like different things come, different things. More like what you need at the time. You mean with the Greys? Now, the Greys are just pains in the asses. They do whatever the hell they want, whenever the hell they want them. Now, I love the Greys, but listen, Bob the Gray, if you're listening, I love you, buddy. Just don't get me in trouble, man. No, really and truly, they do what they want. Well, okay. Here's something for you. We'll let Charis chime in on this in a second. So here's something for y'all. So we have a Gray. He's abducting you, or she's abducting you, whatever sense of sexuality you get from a Gray. There is a sense, by the way. Sexuality might not be the right word. It's more like a feminine male kind of thing. You can just sense the personalities, maybe a little bit more feminine, a little bit more male. But anyway, Jack, stop it! And what is that buzzing my phone off? Now you made me forget what the hell I was talking about, Jack. I'm gonna send you to be probed by the Greys. But anyway, now so the Greys are different in the fact that they've been here a long time. Not as long as the reptilians and humans, mind you, but they've been here a long time. So let's say that Bob the Gray met your great grandmother, removed 20 times great. Okay, so we're talking 5,000, 10,000 years. Okay, so this Gray knows your great grandmother from 10,000 years ago. Well, this same Gray has been abducting your family line till now. So wait a minute now. Now, if reincarnation is real, he's known you or she's known you as a reincarnated soul more than one time. And if it doesn't, then he's known your family line in such an intimate way that you couldn't even understand. But he, the Gray, understands your entire being more so than you do because he's watched your whole family line develop. I hate saying he because you never know when you're talking about a Gray what it actually is. But the Gray knows your whole family line intensely. It's a very strange thing. What do you think, Charis? Charis just slapped a Gray. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I kissed one on the forehead one time. He didn't know what to do.
I would have paid money to see that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I think everything you said is true. And also, I think that sometimes the Greys then incarnate in the human suits too. So if you're part of the long-term thing and you're helping the genetics bend in a certain way and hybridize, then sometimes the ones from up there come in here and come in through the body that way. That happens too.
Oh, hey, Jay, what's up? How you hanging, man? You alive and kicking?
What's up? Yeah, Charis. I'm still here, still
Charis
on the right
Melina
side
Brown,
of the daisies.
Jay McNicholas.
Hello.
How do you do?
Does she look like a starseed to you? All shiny. I think she looks
more
like a fairy, bro. We're going to call her fairy. We can't call a fairy with her name. It doesn't work right.
Having more
Charis,
people on
don't
the show
make me give you another name. I'm already in trouble for giving one of our hosts another name.
Yeah, that's true. You did rename Sean. Yeah,
he's Jack now, and now everybody's calling him Jack, including his own fans. I'm sorry, Sean. I apologize, man. We were doing the news show, and I wanted it to be the Triple J's, so I said, "Sean, you're Jack tonight," and it just kind of stuck. And now he's Jack. Hey, people, I can't help you. Y'all calling him Jack? Look, I did not do this. Yes. And what do you mean, Denise? Yes, I do have colored eyes. You want to see they're scary looking right now. What do you mean what color they are? You can't. Well, I'll tell you what. If you're watching this on Roku television or YouTube television and you've got 4K, yes, you can see what color they are. Matter of fact, if you're doing that, you can tell me what's in Bob's eyeball. You see, Bob has a little pupil right there, but most people can't see it. Mm-hmm. Yes. Actually, there's say about 21,000 watching this on Roku tonight. Yes, I've been quite impressed. Look, usually it's like 300 or 400 people, so I'm actually quite impressed. They came out for Charis, that's all. I never know, to be totally honest with you, I never know what guest is gonna really on when it comes to Roku. It's well, we're getting ready to switch, by the way. So let me say this now, ladies and gentlemen, before the end of the month, probably within the end of this coming week, we will be switching from Roku to Prime. We want to keep both, but we're gonna have to wait and see which one does better, or if it's up to the host, really. Because they have to pay for these. So, but we took a vote at the last meeting. Everybody would like to be on Prime, so we're going to switch it from Roku to Prime. Well, Roku has everything on it, and Prime's just Prime. Well, Prime is on Roku, yes. Roku, whatever you want to call it. I don't care.
But also the benefit of being on Prime, anybody who does a search for UFOs or UFO TV shows on Amazon.com will probably show up.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, if you go into Roku search thing, it'll tell you if it's on any one of the channels that's on its network.
Maybe if you go to their website,
yeah, they've got. Well, you got to go to the website on the TV. On the TV, there's a search thing on the left side, and if you use it, it'll tell you everything. I use it all the time because sometimes when I'm on Prime or if I'm on Vizzo, I can't find what I want, so I go over to Roku and I got like 4 TVs in the house, people. And each one seems to have its own network now. So, well, LG has its own. Anyway, it's not what we're here to talk about, but I need the drugs the rest of y'all people are on, man. And I don't know why the camera makes guys like this tonight. Don't ask me. Usually it's way over there somewhere. I don't do these things. Oh, while we're on it, there you go right here. That's the book set the commercial was talking about right there. Let me lift this up. That set's $125. We will be giving it away this Christmas. We'll be giving away 3 of them this Christmas. But that's what you're talking about. It's 10 books. It's 150 stories. Great artwork, great stories. So that is the sci-fi, fantasy, punk writers, steampunk writers for the next probably 3 generations are in those books. Yeah, well, everybody who wins at the L. Ron Hubbard event at Writers of the Future are people who are going to actually turn into something. At least all the ones I've met so far. Yeah, well, they're all one-hit wonders, and they're 2-hit wonders, and there are people that take 500 million years to get into it. 17,000 words, Mark. That's the biggest it can be. 17,000 words. I've already written something that's already 69,000 words. By the time I finish this thing, it's going to be 200,000 words easy. Yeah. And then my friend Emily Goodwin, I'm going to mail it to her and say, Emily, here you go, baby. Read this for me. Well, she's an editor. She's the bigwig over at Galaxy Press. How many people have access to the bigwig? Come on.
Not many.
In all fairness, ladies and gentlemen, I am picking, but you can. Anybody who's writing books, like I said, as long as it stays below 17,500 words, you can submit it. Some
PG-13 or better or lower.
Yeah, or lower. Yeah, there's no sex stuff, no blood, no gore, no none of that. They're really good. I read the stories. So for the last 5 years, I've been reading the stories, and I've read 5 years worth of stories before that. So, about 7 years worth. They're really good stories. I mean, you're not going to like everyone, but a lot of them are funny, goofy, crazy, stupid. And there's no blood and gore. There's no sex, drugs, or violence, and you can still enjoy it. That's amazing, isn't it? Mm-hmm. People forget that. I know. I get tired of seeing shit. Look, people, I ain't going to lie. I get tired of seeing shit get blown up after a while. I turned on something the other night and I said, I looked over, looked back. I said, this is going to be one explosion after another. 10 minutes in, I'm like, all right, 28 explosions, time to move. It's time to go to the next show. Now I got a rule: certain things about explosions, or if in the first 60 seconds all I see is T and A, I'm usually not going to watch it. There's only been 2 exceptions to that rule. What do you mean you don't know what T and A is? We'll figure it out because I ain't going to say it. Charis is in the room. I'm going to be polite and not say it. And really, I don't know what to tell you, man. Anyway, that's one of the rules, but there's only been 2 exceptions to that rule. One of them was altered carbon. Because there's so much nudity in there. It's just, you just got to leave that alone. Actually, there's so much nudity in all of them carbon, it just becomes part of it, which is kind of cool. And then the first year of Expanse, first 2 episodes was just unbelievable. And I usually after that, because I figure if you got to use that as your opening scenes, the movie's going to be crap. And but with those 2 exceptions, I've been right every other time.
Yeah, well, that's why they put all the good scenes in the trailer. They put like 2 minutes worth of good stuff in the movie of 2 hours, and that's the only good 2 minutes. So you get there and you're like, oh, what a piece of junk.
Maybe we should do like a Starseed movie. Somebody was asking me the other day. Somebody asked me. Matter of fact, when I talked to Charis yesterday, it made me think about it. Somebody was asking me the other day, because there's lots of names for different things when it comes to either being born as a well, I hate to use the word hybrid, but because technically Rh negative people are hybrids, and or a mutant, whichever way you want to look at it, people. Okay, I seen somebody write that. So yes, Rh negative people can be considered mutants because it is a mutated blood, just like green eyes and blue eyes, and every color eyes but brown is a mutated blood. Mm-hmm. What do you mean, man? There ain't no such thing as a real blonde. What the hell are you talking about? Maybe in this cut. No, I'm just teasing. Well, no, the Scandinavian people, John. Come on, man. Get a grip. I was teasing, man. There are actually real blondes, yes. So blonde that you're like, wow, get back. You like demons or something. No, they don't look like angels. They look more like demons. But anyway, I don't know how much of the aliens had to do with the Rh negative. Whatever created this mutation, which started a chain of mutations, including the eye colors and hair colors and the way we think, the way we act. Some people think that it activated the reptilian genes in us that brought us more, help us to fine tune our gifts and abilities. It's an argument at best. Well, for some reason, the human aliens, and I don't know, and maybe Charis knows more about this. Sometimes the human aliens get a really good rap, and sometimes they get a really bad one, and I'm not sure why. It's like some of them pick their favorites.
I think that's the government there on that part.
Maybe so. Well, what do you think? I mean, we'll let the boss lady talk.
I mean, I think like everything, they're not all the same. So different ones have different agendas, and also some things that aren't human will put on human form to not freak out the contactees. So it's hard to lump anything together because there are so many different agendas going on.
What do you mean, John? You want me to get naked? You want to see my reptilian form?
I started looking into the alien question. I don't know if I'm a reptilian. I know I have a reptilian brain, but since I've been looking at the alien situation, and I started when I was 11, I'm 56. I'll let the audience do the math on that. My math is horrible. There's flip-flopped for the good species and the bad species, whichever one you think is that one way or the other. So since like the 70s through up to today, the grays have been good. They've been bad. They've been good. They've been bad. Same with the Pleiadians. You just pick any one of the 4 or 5 that are constantly on the planet. They've got a bad rep and a good rep. Depends on your point of view and who you talk to. So the real data is locked up in all the black programs that the U.S. has, and what the Russians are keeping from us, and what the English and the French or any other government that has much more knowledge than the civilian. The story could be quite doomsaying for us. I mean, they say in the Bible, God created us in his likeness, which means that we not only do we look like him, but we're like them in the way they respond to things. So just like we have really bad people on the planet and really good people on the planet, all those races have the same exact things. We just need to find out what their agendas are so we know which ones to trust and which ones to kick off the planet. Once we can figure that out and we have the means to do it, I think we'll be a lot better off, to be honest with you.
Well, history tells us a lot about all of that, but but it is about who you want to believe. Do you want to believe the human aliens? Do you want to believe the reptilians? Do you want to believe the Greys? See, in the beginning, all you ever heard about was the reptilians and humans, and then somewhere along the way, the Greys got sent in. More than likely, the light being sent the Greys here to keep the other two from getting in a freaking war. It looks like sometimes the reptilians and humans like each other.
I think it's
it looks
checks
like
and balance system, just like our presidencies.
Yeah, well, because the rumor always was that when the light beings came to this galaxy, they found the Greys and turned them into what they would call the galactic policemen. They gave them advanced technology, advanced them for something like 500 million years in just no time at all. Maybe that's why they're so cranky. No. Bob is not cranky. Bob is a Greys. Actually, I'm telling y'all, Greys are cool. Once you get to know them, and you don't. Well, no, it's not like they're gonna have a cup of. No, you mean like some Jack? No, they won't drink Jack, but they'll drink Crown Royal. Crown Royal and strawberry ice cream. Oh shit! That's what Bob Lazar said. Don't hate on me.
You make them a sidecar with a strawberry ice cream. That'd be kind of cool.
There you go. Or a grasshopper.
Crown Royal with a Crown Royal float. I'm gonna try that.
What do you mean, John? All right, you want to give us a list of names? Okay. Bob Lazar. What do y'all think? What do you think, Charis? Good guy, bad guy, in between guy. He's Bob Lazar. I mean, he's the strawberry ice cream guy. I mean, come on.
What do you think, Jay?
I don't know. I don't know.
He's a hero of mine, I think. I've watched his story since 88, 89, whenever he first came out on the first interview with him. He was not Bob Lazar. He was Doug or something like that.
Yeah.
And
he was behind the thing and stuff.
A year later, he came out. Yeah. And then a year later, he came out did the same interview, but a little more in depth with the same, and I can't remember the reporter's name. However, his story hasn't changed. He hasn't made any profit off. He's actually been arrested several times because of this story.
No, that's because he owns a brothel. That's why he's been arrested.
Well, there's that too, but he also got arrested several times for his rocket cars.
No, that's true too. He got arrested for those too. Yeah,
he's on his street fixing it, and the cops would harass him for that.
No, Jimmy, that wasn't a while till he actually owned the brothel. I think he actually still owns it. Yeah, it's Nevada. He can own whatever he wants in Nevada. Who cares? That doesn't
his
make
story
it
has not changed at all. And the thing that blocked it in.
Well, Jay, you're being probed, Jay. See, people, this is what you look like when you're being probed. With one of them electric probe sticks, this is what it looks like. It's like, I'm sorry. I'm blaming all this on Charis. She's a bad influence. Well, I guess he'll just come back when he comes back. Meanwhile, we have Jay frozen. That's because he lives in Pennsylvania, people. Yes. What's his name's in charge of the internet up there, Bitterman, whatever his name is. Yeah, I had to take that shot while I could. I don't, when I go back and read, it just seems it looks like they've all had their planet change on Earth. And what I mean by that, so you look at some of the Egyptian stuff and some of the Sumerian stuff, you do see these human deity guide things that brought certain things to us. But then you see the reptilians. And really for the reptilians were pretty well revered until the time of Christ. And then they weren't. And it was weird because they were pretty much revered around the world. If you go around the world and look, in the Mesoamerican world, the reptilians were loved. They were considered the bringers of life. The human deities were the ones that walked in the dark and were evil. There was a lot of that in the European world, and the Roman world, but the Middle Eastern world, and then for some reason, we had the change of the guard. Was it the Greys that caused it? Was it reptilians that caused it? Was it something else that caused it? I really have no clue, but something made people start thinking differently. Mm-hmm. Religion's not evil. People are evil. Yeah. It's like when people tell me guns kill people. No, people kill people. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Never heard a story of a gun taking itself off the shelf out of the holster.
Martha's in the other room with all 31 rounds, sleeping quite peacefully. She's not even worried about what's.
When when the guns start walking out of your closets and your gun lockers and loading themselves and walking down the street and shooting people, then you can panic, people.
It's look, people. It's the same thing with what we were talking about. It's just some things that we're the evil, we're the problem, not these other things. We the people are the problem. We need to work on ourselves in the world. And the bad part was it looked like for a while there we were headed in the right direction as a planet. We were trying to clean up the planet. We were trying to end homelessness and feed the hungry, which is a lot of hungry people on this planet. And for some reason,
the 80s happened and it all went to hell.
No, even that. So, I mean, Obama was doing good. Trump was doing pretty good. Bush was effing things up a little bit because he had the war going, but the other two presidents, and then we get Uncle Cracker in office, and we got two wars going. We got wanting to stop using American money. I mean, what the bleep is going? Is he an alien? I mean, really? No, because aliens cannot be that stupid. No, guys, I don't know what it is with him. He's an alien. I'm gonna blame it. We're gonna have Charis bring the mothership down and remove his ass off the planet and take him away.
Just needs a couple software upgrades.
You know what? That's a good idea. That's a good idea. No, actually, no. We're gonna talk about that in a little while. Charis was out chasing aliens a couple of months back in the mud and the slop and the sand and the dust. I don't know if she caught it. She got some really good pictures. I'll tell you that. Oh, you'd have to talk her into seeing her pictures, or go subscribe to one of her pages. But they all looked like they had a good time.
Yeah, it was fun. It was different.
I talked to a few people I knew that was out there. I guess maybe they all had their stuff together. Maybe that was the difference. When I was talking to Charis earlier, that seemed to be the difference. A few groups had their stuff together, and they.
Yeah, when you go, you bring everything you need. Radical self-reliance is part of the culture, and so is being off grid. So it didn't matter that we were stuck because we had everything we needed. So we were like sipping champagne and in the steam room and eating and chilling, and it was fine. But if people came without having their ducks in a row, then they had a harder time. And also, I think some of it was luck of the draw. I think that, like, the thing about that experience is it's highly transformational. So you're gonna get squished somehow, and that's part of it. Like, that's what changes you, and that's why people go partially. So it was just a different kind of wild card thrown in this year. It's kind of a simulation out there, though. You can kind of feel it. So I think that we just got another strike of the keys sent at us this year to see what would happen.
Well, I was telling Charis earlier they need to bring a fan boat out there if this is going to become a regular rain event. Yeah, I mean, fan boats, they won't have no problems at all going and coming.
Fan boats are cool. They're loud, but they're very cool.
Yes, they are. But they'll go over any damn terrain. What do you mean? You're talking about Burning Man? You know, Burning Man's been going on for a while. Yeah. Oh yeah, they'll go. I was telling earlier about somebody riding one down the street. Burning Man, over the years, I've gotten reports out of. I've actually got abduction reports out of Burning Man, and I've got sighting reports out of it. But it's different years, and it varies immensely. And there's a lot of people. There's a lot more people there than y'all think there is. And
80,000.
Yes, yes, it is a city. It's actually bigger than a lot of small cities.
Yeah.
Well, no, they got. I mean, everybody's going out to have fun, but we get. This year I didn't get any. Last year I don't think I got any.
It's a great place. It's such an easy place. I mean, I've talked about that with people I know, and even people who aren't in the contactee or abductee world will all say, "Yeah, I think I've maybe met an alien out there or seen an alien out there," because anything goes, and it's so absurd and crazy that your mental walls are just down. So a lot of weird experimentation can happen, I think, for lots of different beings. There's a lot of spirit activity out there. I definitely think that it would be super easy for things to just fly. And there's a really intricate drone show that gets more and more intense every year. And so, who knows? But
that'd be an easy place to mix, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Pop on a human suit and go. No, it's not a human suit. It's like it depends what alien we're talking about. Most of them are just used. It's an energy they just put out. So wherever they're at, usually for a few square miles, you see them, even though they probably even haven't physically changed, you just see them as that. But there are some that have the ability. Some of them have, I guess, I don't want to call them outfits, but it's I guess it's an energy field that changes around. Well, they don't physically change either. The only alien I've ever heard that actually physically changes its form is the light beams, but that's because they're plasma or something. They're not skin aliens like we are. But all the rest of them, it's some kind of gimmick or something else.
He talks about them all the time. Those are strange.
You mean if an alien walked up to me? Well, okay. Clarify that question, because some
aliens you can't distinguish them from us.
Well, that's true too. But we were in Pensacola, Florida. Actually, we went in Navarre Beach, Florida, near Eglin Air Force Base. And there was a bunch of us. There was about 15 of us. There was a group of guys and a group of girls. And for some reason, we got this crazy idea, and we packed into 2 vehicles, and we went down there. One F-150 truck and I think a Mustang. We all go down there. So we get down there, and this is just intensely weird. From the time we left the house until the time we got back, the fog bank was so hot, bad. If you got out the vehicle and you looked, you couldn't see more than maybe 3-4 feet. So we're all walking along. So this is, right, I said, this is in Gulf Breeze, Florida, right next to the Eglin Air Force Base. We're walking to these gazebo things. Now, you can't see them, but we knew they were there. So we're walking along, minding our own business, walking along. And I hear the girls up front say something. They kept hearing something behind us, but it wasn't us because we were too far back. And so somebody said something about a footprint, and we sped up a little bit. And as we sped up, you could see these prints. They were about these long, and they were appearing in front of us in the sand, but there was nothing there. And there was like 3 or 4 rows of them. So obviously there was 2 or 3 things walking there, but you couldn't see anything. And we were close enough that if there would have been something there, you would have seen it. So I got this stupid idea. I wanted to go touch it. And then next thing I know, we're actually at the gazebo. I guess we were just walking at a fast clip, but we'll just let that slide. And we're actually at the gazebo all sitting around. And there's fog everywhere, but there's no fog inside the gazebo. None.
Wow.
Just none at all. It's not even coming in. Now, this is a big open gazebo. There should be fog in there, but there's none. And I still remember Mike. Mike had come down from, this is right after Katrina, because Mike had just come down from Saskatchewan, Canada, to come work with us, restoring homes. And I still remember he had a cigarette in his mouth. He just stood up, just stood straight up, and the cigarette just flipped out of his mouth. And I was watching it go down as he looked over. Don't know what it is still. We're going to just call it a gray or something. Came down from the pole, because these things were vaulted up like this. Came down from the pole, came straight down the side of the thing, and just kind of took a look at everybody. Now remember, there's 15 of us. There's at least 20 cameras with us. Not anybody even thought about picking up a damn camera, not one person. It just kind of stood there and looked at us and then started walking away. And as it walked away, the sidewalk just lit up in the white. It looked like it was just a white rectangular thing where he just walked in like he was walking downstairs. I have no idea what he was doing, but everybody saw it. It was clear as day. So the question really is, did we really see it, or what happened between the time we seen the footprints and the time he walked away? So more than likely they were taken at the footprints and put back at the gazebo. Mm-hmm. So the real thing is what was going on in between. Mm-hmm. For some reason, nobody wanted to be hypnotized. No, including myself. I didn't want to be hypnotized. I was like, no. I still to this day, I'm like, nope, that's okay. Don't want to know. It's one of those things I don't want to know about. But there's so much weird stuff that happens in those areas up there. It's just freaky. I should drag Charis down there and let her just beam out.
I'd go. Why not?
It's not a creepy feel, but it's a weird feel. I mean, you can sense it as soon as you get up in that area. You just sense it now. Now it's not as crazy as it used to be. It seems like they've kind of moved. It's hard to explain. But we've been tracking on and off in these different hot spots, and sometimes they feel like they just move. Maybe it's because too many people get to know where they're at, or maybe it's just time to move on to the next collection point. Because Gulf Breeze is definitely a collection point. I mean, we have seen them more, not just us. I mean, we have seen with several groups of people being taken. That's where they got the surfing aliens from. We watched all them things sliding up on the beach, taking people. And think about this. So there's 4 of us sitting in these chairs under this tent. And when we first looked like little white lights sitting on the surf, and it was headed towards the beach. I'm like, what the hell is that? Gets to the beach. Now there's people lying all around us on the beach. This is right near a big set of condos. There's like 3 huge condo sets there, probably 8 or 10,000 people in those condos. There's a bunch of people on the beach. I would say there was 50 or 60 people around us. They come in, and next time you look, there's nothing there but us. And I still remember my stepdaughter goes, "What the?" And I was like, "I don't know what." So was this just to let us see it? Is really the question, because we didn't take it. They didn't take us. We watched it until they brought it back, which was about 5:30 in the morning.
It was a teaser.
It was a big abduction too, and it's not the first time we've run across one. Well, I got pissed one night and said, "I ain't doing this anymore." That's where that song. That's what I was talking about in that song, and because I had enough of it, I was like, "This is enough of this bullshit." And I said, "I'm just not going to talk about it. I'm not going to get involved. I'm not going to look anymore. I'm not going to look for anything. I'm just like, the hell with this. I'm going to go home and eat ice cream." And it seems like, I guess they pay attention sometimes.
Strawberry.
No, man. I want some chocolate, man, with some vanilla. I don't know. Depends what kind of mood I'm in. I'll eat any damn ice cream. As long as it's good, I'm good.
As long as it isn't mint chocolate chip.
Mint I can do. I can't do peppermint, but I can do mint. No, people, stop. We ain't getting on ice cream. No, let's not even go there. Let's go back. Let's go back to the alien. So tell me about this book again before we go back to talking about what was going out there in the sticks. I know you said second book.
Oh, my books. Oh yeah, the Starseed trilogy. So
We don't want to talk about his, that's for sure. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So they're basically a documentation of my contact experience. I didn't realize that I was a contactee until I had a really intense experience under a big ship, and then everything started coming back. And I confirmed with my parents about my childhood memories, and they were like, yes, that all that stuff happened. But the thing about being a contactee, and also just paranormal stuff in general, is that a lot of times people just don't want to talk about it. It makes them uncomfortable. And when I was writing the first Starseed book, I had this unofficial poll going on. And I would just ask everyone I met, hey, have you ever seen a UFO? And there were 3 responses I would get. And I don't know, I probably asked this to a few hundred people. It wasn't all that many, but it was a good chunk. And the absolute least common of the 3, this was only a very small percentage of people, would say, nope, never seen it. And you could just tell, not into it. Absolutely not. And I'd say, okay, like, again, I don't like to fight. I don't need to convince anyone of anything. I'm good. Move on. Slightly more common, but still a pretty small percentage, were people who would say, yes, oh my gosh. And they would often get the wild eyes, and they would tell you some experience they had, and they were so glad that someone was asking them about it so they could talk about it. So that happened a few times. Those are the people you're likely to find more at the conferences and stuff. And then the overwhelming majority of responses was people would go, no, I don't think so. You could see them kind of analyzing the document, right, in their brain. I don't think so. I'd say, okay, we'd move on. And then anywhere from a minute or 2 to a half hour or so later, they would go, wait. And whatever we were talking about would stop. And then they would say some really crazy, intense UFO story. And often they would be able to corroborate it with somebody else. You'd be like, oh, yeah, such and such was there, weren't you? And he would go, oh, yeah, I was there that day at the high school when it was 4th of July and there was a big triangular craft hanging out over the bleachers. Everybody was there. So common. But as you can see, it goes in the shit I don't understand drawer. So people just put it in there and don't ever talk about it unless
it comes
up and takes them a while to access it. So it happens more commonly than we think. But again, it's like a lot of intuitive stuff or multidimensional stuff. If you don't have any use for it, you're not going to keep it top of mind. So unless you have some kind of calling to pay attention to it or activation from it, that activates like your curiosity, it's not going to be something that you bring up. And also people don't want to look crazy usually. I mean, that ship has sailed with us, but basically a lot of people are not going to say anything because they don't want to get ostracized by their friends or get fired from their job or whatever it may be.
No, that's true though. You talk about it too much, people will be like, wait, what? It's like, who? What aliens did you see? What, really? Aliens aren't real, people.
Yeah.
I don't believe in aliens. No, I can honestly sit here and say I don't believe in aliens. Mm-hmm. I don't really. What do you mean? No, I don't believe in them. I don't believe, because there's a difference between believing and knowing, people. That's just as simple as it gets. No. Okay. What do you mean? It wouldn't matter if I'd seen one or not at this point. I have seen enough evidence to know that they're real, that there's something visiting our planet. I've seen enough evidence close up to know that they're real and visiting our planet, not including, I have to ask Marky, but last time I checked, he said we had over 90,000. I think he said 99,000 cases locked away now. Well, that's over 40 years, but it's just a lot of cases. And, but that's, you see, you got to remember, that's not all of them. That's the ones that we consider that are cases that are useful or that we consider real. Well, no, not all the 99,000 we consider real. We consider some of them to be useful for other reasons, but probably at least 80,000 we would consider to be real cases. And no, because they meet the criteria that we have set forward for real cases. Well, only ever half of it's ever been made public. That's why you hear me talk. Sometimes I'll just stop and so I can't talk about that because that's why I have directors that work with me just in case. So I'll not talk about. I'm telling y'all all the abduction criteria was up to me. I really would. I remember when DeAndre was still alive, she called me one night. She goes, I was listening to that bleeping show, Bleeping Joe. She said, I'm going to do my job. You gave out entirely too information, and she tore my ass up, man. Give God rest her soul. She did, too. She said, I'm your national director. I'm the one you said if something's going awry, you call. I'm calling. And she did. She tore me up. I was like, but D, people need to know. That's the only way we're going to find out. She said, they don't need to know all of that. I was talking about all kind of stuff too. So it's like,
well, they eventually need to know all of the information. They do need to know. We all need to know the full information. And honestly, some of the information, once we get it all out, it's going to anger probably 90% of the U.S. citizenship, maybe even the 90% of the planet. There's some pretty heinous stuff that's been going on with this thing since before the World Wars.
So let's see. What's that, Lazarus? So Lazarus is writing in. This is directed at all of us, but he said, I'm going to ask Charis first. He said, where do you think, he said, actually what he said was, if the world was to get into a bad war, do you think the extraterrestrials would intervene or step in?
I think it depends on if we were using nuclear energy or not. That's when they came forward in the world wars. Once we start using nuclear, they're like, hey, you need to calm down. But if we're just little kids hitting each other on the playground, they're like, do it. That's what I think. What about you?
What do you think, Jay? Jay?
I agree. I think maybe at the very least, maybe some very serious chemical and or other non-nuclear type devices that are, very devastating, like neutron bombs that will kill a whole city, and some biologicals and whatnots. But barring that, if we're just slinging bullets, they're gonna film it just like they did all the dinosaurs. So
yeah, I look at it differently.
See it later on. From above.
I look at it like this: if we wipe ourselves out, they get a free planet. There's a cosmos full of aliens.
They get a free planet.
Well, think of it this way: there's a cosmos full of aliens, and some of them may have lost their planets in disasters or stars going up, and they're thinking, well, here's a perfectly good one. If these stupid humans don't want it, we'll just let them wipe themselves out, then we'll clean up the planet and give it to somebody else. It always worries them a little bit. What was that, baby? Go ahead.
Isn't that how we got here to begin with?
That is
how we got here. They've lost their leg.
That was good, Charis. That was good. Oh, so that's not even a good thing. That she hit it on the neck. That's how we got here.
And for an example of some of the aliens that, and here's a good example for some of the aliens who've lost their planets, and maybe it's due to their own overzealousness or overmining, whatever you want to call it. But the Zeta Reticulans allegedly had control of like 3 to 5 planets in their 2 solar systems. It's actually a trinary system, but they lived only on 2 of the planets, or 2 of the stars, and a few planets in those 2 stars. But they allegedly lost their planets thousands of years ago, and they've been fighting to get planets ever since. And that doesn't, make me think there are a whole lot of friendly little fluffy guys,
Yeah, so many different kinds. And isn't it the Mintakans that planet was gone? I mean, I know I've heard of planets also going just because they were at the end of their life cycle. Like the
Yeah, that
planets
happens
just
too.
got old and died, and then the things
Yeah,
were
but
smart.
I think the Zeta Reticulans, their planets they weren't killed off by natural, the end of its planet's natural life. It's due to them being over, just using all the resources and I guess being irresponsible with it. Like they tell us to be responsible with our planet, make it better, don't do what you're doing.
Yeah,
Yet I was
think
watching
about
the other
that,
night, and
Joe.
I can't remember the gentleman's name. Huh?
Well, I was just saying, think about that. They want us to behave and take care of things, but I mean, why do they tell us about the asteroid belt? I mean, there's enough minerals in it. We don't even have to fight about minerals anymore on this planet. I mean, come on, there's one asteroid worth more than everything on this planet combined,
We don't have
including
to
the
fight
planet.
about anything on this
Well,
planet.
you got a
We
good
have
valid
enough
point there.
thing.
You got a valid point. I've talked about this
We
a
might have to fight to
long
get it
time.
back from their clutches, but the fact is that they have needs, they have resources they need as well, and they probably are already mining our asteroid belt. So
They could be.
They
could be.
The best thing that we can do is try to either be friends with the good ones and try to get our planet back, or they're going to come get us eventually. One of the sides is going to win, and if it's the bad guys, that's not good for us.
Well, I don't think we got to worry about them fighting too much more. I just think it's just whatever the rules are for what's considered ours. So what do we own in this solar system? Is the whole solar system ours because this is where our planet is and we're the only intelligent life, or is it not? Does it belong to the cosmos? Is our planet inside of the galactic communities where the actual community is? Is it there? I mean, we're way out on Spiral Arm. We might be out here on our own, and that's why the aliens come in. And then again, it simply could be because we're not from the Milky Way, we're from Sagittarius, and that's why they're here. So wait, let's check these weirdos out from a different galaxy. Oh my God, let's go see aliens from a different galaxy. We're probably like a freaking museum. Oh no, we're like a zoo. Oh,
Yeah, I think we're like a petri dish, an incubator. I mean, we're still the human and the Earth project is still definitely underway. Like,
yes,
we have to take the long view. And I think it's interesting because I don't think that we're necessarily off track all that much. I think that if you're looking at this in hundreds of thousands of years, I don't know. I don't think it's all so cut and dry. And however much we can have in our human brain, I think that the game is much bigger than that and much longer than that. So I don't necessarily think that taking out the dinosaurs was off the track. That might have been.
No, I think it was planned.
And who knows if it was an asteroid or something else that just hit the planet. Yeah.
Well, recently they've been throwing some dirt on the asteroid theory.
Yeah, we were talking about that a few shows back.
Yeah, they're kind of.
Yeah, I threw out the idea. What if maybe that asteroid, when it did fall, it had biology on it that caused a virus or some kind of global pandemic after the explosion. Years and months later.
Well, now they're saying it wasn't big enough to kill all the stuff in the sea. It was big enough to kill everything on land, mostly, unless they found habitats. But they don't think it was big enough to kill everything in the sea. So they're a little confused. There should be more prehistoric sea animals, and there's not. So they're kind of a little confused by that. And a couple of things they're confused. But it's like we all originally came from Africa. Now they don't know where the hell we came from. I'm like, just pick a spot, people. I said the world's not going to get all angry.
Theory.
Yeah, well, people want to get angry when you change stuff. Well, sometimes we're wrong. Sometimes we make boo-boos. And I have no problem with everyone coming from Africa. The only problem I've ever had that there was only two parents. I said, genetically, that doesn't work. We know, thanks to gene research that we all know about these days, it takes a minimum of 3,600 to create a population this size, a healthy population. What I mean by that, Johnny, I've seen a smart-ass comment, because if the population is too small, it inbreeds. And there may be a lot of brilliant people, but there may also be a lot of retarded people, a lot of handicapped people, a lot of problems that you don't want in your society. So the bigger the expanse, the less likely you're going to have those problems, the healthier your population is. Also, you never know which one of us is going to invent a cure for cancer or who's going to be the next Elon Musk. Do y'all realize, ladies and gentlemen, that Elon has landed more rockets than all the entire space programs put together in the entire existence of space programs? Jesus, come on. He is making,
including probably all of science fiction too, I would think.
Yeah, he is. not only is he embarrassing the Russians and Chinese, the Indians, but he's even embarrassing us. I mean, he is just. He had his 200th landing the other day,
or at least
200.
NASA.
So the Chinese said the other day that because he was landing at 200, said there'll probably be 10 years before they can land one. Jesus, but then he'll be living on Mars, man. He worries me, though. He does. When I talk about him, a lot of times I think about that stupid Moonraker TV show, the James Bond one, where the guy,
Movie.
Drax,
James Bond movie.
he wants the perfect race. I'm always worried Elon might go to Mars and build something around Mars. Say, don't come here, stupid humans, or else he might want all black-haired people instead of blonde-haired people.
There's only one way to find out. Yeah. There's only one way to find out if Elon is going to be Drax. If he's got that guy with the metal teeth as a bodyguard.
Jaws. I mean, I really, it's
yeah.
So, Cindy, to answer your question, and anybody after the first 5 years of the colony of Mars, anybody will be able to go. And it's going to be a 2-year wait list to get back. So originally it was going to be a one-way ticket. Now it's not. So his idea is to start having 10 launches at a time, and then it's constantly going back and forth to Mars all the time. So if you're on Mars and you want to come home, you can. If you're here and you want to go, you can. And remember, you got to have the guy who's going to fix the toilet. You're going to have the guy who's going to fix the electrical. These high-dollar scientists ain't going to be doing all of that. You got to have the people who are going to cook for you every day.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have the people who's going to make sure you're spiritually enlightened. All of these people will have to be there.
How long are they saying the trip will be from one place?
Last I heard was 6 months, but Elon said before
he's
they go,
a couple of weeks.
Yeah, now he's saying it's going to probably be 8 weeks. And so they're changing it. They got some new rocket engines coming out and some other stuff coming out. So the more they look at this, the faster we get there. And they want to do it soon because we got a good couple of epigees coming up to connect with Mars. So that they really want to get going. And he wants to live there. He wants to take him and some of his kids. He wants to have another 10 kids. They'll give him a total of 20 kids. He wants to build an empire on Mars. I know what he's doing. Wow. I mean, he's going to have his own empire. He's going to be the next whoever, man. Alexander the Great. Well, no, he ended badly, so we won't use him. Is there any of these people that did end badly? Let's think about it.
Not a good example.
Well, let's try. So you'll be able to go. You'll be plenty young enough to go. There'll be lots of openings for people who just want to go, and there'll be lots of things to do. Like I said, they're going to need something for everybody, And I would imagine if you're going to be somebody who's going to go live off world, your spirituality connected with the universe is probably going to be higher than the average person. Maybe not. I could be wrong. I say we send Charis for sure. Yeah.
I'd go temporarily. I do love Earth. Though.
I would love to
go.
So we need somebody who can keep an eye on Elon. we just need you to keep an eye on Elon for a while. Just keep an eye on his ass. No, people, Elon.
Eyes.
Well, he's got all that neuro stuff now. He's going to hook into your brain. Oh, that's a question, Charis. Would you let him put something in your brain?
No, I don't think I would get any influence this lifetime. I don't think so. It freaks me out.
Yes, it's. Well, so they what they're trying to do over Mars is everything will be connected. So when you're walking around doing everything's working off that chip. You walk into your house, the lights come on. Just when you're just thinking about it, you don't have to do anything else. I do like the idea that you don't need stairs on Mars. You can jump from level to level to level. That's kind of nice. That space that you can use for something else. No, we didn't. We'll have her back to talk about experiences. We weren't really talking about experiences tonight. We were just kind of chit-chatting about different things and why the government, even with this big movement, still can't seem to get to the truth. Yeah,
because then they wouldn't sell more episodes. The whole point is to get people to keep tuning in. So they just told you everything.
I wondered. This is a good question right here. What do you think, Chad? Do you think that let's say the people holding this, the everyday American people who are holding this Congress, do you think if they were given the truth that they would know what to do with it?
Know what to do with it. I mean, I don't know. Which agenda are they working under? Like, I don't think there is much to do with it. And that's the interesting thing, like you were saying earlier, Joe, with being regressed. And when I was the state rep for ICAR back in the day, and people would say, hey, I want to get regressed, but I'm scared. And I'd be like, well, I mean, you're okay. That next morning you got up and had your coffee and your Wheaties, like you survived it. Like there's no reason to be afraid of just knowing what happened. And so again, does it really matter if people know or not? Because this is such a long game. Like we're talking generations and generations and generations.
Yes, it is.
So I think if people want to know, then they should know. But it's like the whole contactee thing. It's way more common because most people just don't care. Most people are just like, yeah, I don't want to know if ETs have been abducting me and my family for the last 12 generations. No, like I just want to go to work and come home and eat dinner and chill, you know? So I think it will probably still be like that.
Yeah, and we can all hope too. What do you mean, Jolene? Jolene? What do you like, Jolene? Like in the song, Jolene? I mean, is that your real name? Because y'all go on my messenger and y'all don't always use your real name. Y'all use some bullshit name. I've seen y'all make Facebook accounts just so you can have some stupid name. Don't even try to pull that crap with me. So anyway, what's your question? What should you do if you think you've been abducted? Now, all right. What do you mean? Do you think you've been abducted? Do you think you've been contacted? If you're looking for help, anybody you see here, you can talk to. Yvonne Smith. Okay, there's a few good people out there. You can write to me at icar@cox.net and I'll give you some people. But where are you? You're on the East Coast? Well, just write to Charis. She's on the East Coast. Well, sometimes she's in the West Coast, so you got to watch her. She likes to move around. Like she don't like to hold still much. She's like, well, you know what? Most contactees don't like to sit still. It's a thing. Maybe it's because they know they're coming for them. Maybe it's just a thing from being a contactee. Maybe it's just part of life. But no, antsy is not a good word. Most of the contactees I know aren't antsy. But they do like to move around a lot. They like to go.
Well, and it's just the way the cookie crumbles. Like things call you in different spots, and so you go if you can. And then, yeah, I mean, I didn't necessarily plan on being nomadic for so long. It just kind of, oh, now I need to go over here, and I need to go over there for a job or to visit or, you know, whatever it may be. So it ends up being that way.
Well, it's good to move around, people. Well, I travel a lot. I haven't traveled as much this year as I usually do, but I still travel a lot. Well, let's see, where was it this year? DC, New York, LA, and then local places. No, I haven't been driving as much as I usually do. Usually I get out and about, but last year we were in Utah for FanX, and then we were in Atlanta for Dragon Con, and then I was in Los Angeles for Writers of the Future. DC and New York are for documentaries they're doing on me. Oh, you want to come up here and say hi to Charis? Come tell Charis hi.
Oh,
come say hi, Charis. Say I love you, Charis. What you doing?
Here, buddy.
So cute.
Say I'm just a baby, huh?
Here's Admiral. I mean, you might not be able to see him. It's Admiral.
Oh, he's lurking in the shadows. We can see him.
Yeah, what you doing? What you doing? Cat food. What
well, I got the main light down, and he's all black mostly, so he doesn't photo well.
But she weirds people out when she's not got clothes on. She'll be laying up on my shoulder sleeping. People don't notice it when I'm on air, and all of a sudden she'll cut her eye. You just see the white eye. They're like, "What is that? Is that?" Tell them, what is that, huh? And she's the alien hunter. In case you don't know, she hunts aliens. Yes, she does. She thinks she's an alien hunter. She puts her hoodie on and she goes after the little asses. Yeah, she got a hoodie on this outfit. Oh, but she got to get out because I see her sister just came in. Oh no! If she thinks there's anything in my house, it doesn't alien or not. It doesn't matter what the hell it is. Her and her sister will bark you. They'll leave just so they'll shut up. Yeah, even a burglar coming in, they would leave just to make him shut up. Oh no, they're quiet. Like when they're on the radio, they know when I'm on the radio. Yeah, no, she comes in. Usually she comes in halfway through the show. She's a little late tonight, but usually she likes to come in halfway in the show, come give Daddy a lick in the nose or something, and tell everybody hi. She wants to be famous. Say, my name is Lola, and I want to be famous, huh? Say, I want to be famous. But anyway, you got to get down, sweetheart. Come on, hop down. Go see your sister. Go see your sister. There you go. Go love one.
She does not want to get down.
Oh no, she'll go. She was going to sleep. She was ready to hang out. Kirk, we ain't got that much time, but what?
I do have a thought on that question about the abduction. If you think you've been abducted, record everything. If there are any marks on your body, take pictures of them. whatever you possibly can remember, write it down or voice note it or video it as soon as you remember, because things will get blurrier over time.
Yes, they will.
So, and you want to make sure you have, if there's anything physical, if there's any sign left that's in the physical realm, photograph it so that you can store this and check back over time.
Yeah, she's right. And you should write down any memories immediately, because it's not just that they'll fade; they'll get contaminated a lot of times, especially if you go around listening
get
to
covered by 'em.
radio shows or something like that. You know, I remember a lady who was listening to me talk about another lady who'd been abducted in Australia. And a couple of weeks later, her and I were talking, and she got to talking. And I said, "You're overlaying one over the other." She said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Here, I've got your abduction in front of me." And I started reading it back to her. And she's like, "Oh shit." And I said, I said, "You got to pay attention. You'll get contaminated without realizing it." I said, you know, when your things go a long time, and then when you make them realize, like Mr. Abductee there, Mrs. Abductee there, next time you feel something weird going on, ask to remember. Now, I'm going to tell you now, they're not going to give you 100%. You get up to Charis' range, they might give you 100%. And even then, there's still, even her who's been doing this a long time, they're going to give her 100%, but some things they're just going to say, no, she's going to be the same way we are, getting 5% or this, that, or the other thing. But it's when they know, it's different. But
you got to learn how to chill out your nervous system, like learn how to regulate your nervous system. Because when you feel them start to come around and you feel yourself get all, like your nervous system get all freaked out, it means you're going to be less likely to remember. And if you super freak out, they'll just tranquilize you and you won't remember anything.
You won't remember
anything. Be cool, like be chill.
Well, it's true, because people just get, well, Mark, to be honest with you, you're a big boy. I know how big you were, like what, 6'2", 6'3", about 300 pounds. The thing of it is even a gray, even a little 3-foot gray, you get angry with him, he's going to toss you around like you're a freaking pancake.
Or just touch you and you freeze and you can't move.
Yeah. I mean, they're way stronger than they look like. They got weaponry and they have so much mental power that so much of what they do, people think they're using equipment, but a lot of times they're just simply using thought, and they just lock you in place. You're like, whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Greys are weird. When I first got in this field, I thought the Greys worked for the reptilians and the humans, and that they were doing this work for the reptilians and humans, and the humans and reptilians were doing most of the abductions. After a little research, I realized way back in the day that the reptilians and humans were doing the majority of abductions, but there was no Greys. When the Greys got here, it seemed like they started taking over about 60%, maybe 50, about 60% of the abductions, and the other ones were left for the reptilians and humans, which I thought was kind of strange. Well, in a couple of abduction cases, I've had people tell me when the Gray walks into the room and there's a reptilian human, we're talking about a 3-foot Gray, not even a big Gray, because Grays get bigger than that. A lot of times that the reptilian or the human will look away or look down. So that's a sign of respect and fear, which suggests that this little Gray could take out this big 700-pound reptilian who's almost 8.5 foot tall like he's nothing. And remember, humans aren't little either. I mean, see, that's the difference. The human aliens have a longer head than we do. It's not wider, it's longer. It's like comes back here. And when you're looking at them face on, you can't tell. But they are bigger than we are. They're probably in the they're probably in the 8-foot range, 7 to 8 foot range, easily 400 or 500 pounds.
Yeah.
But the problem is you hear 400 or 500 pounds, you think, oh, fat. But no, they're cut. It's the weight for their body. I mean, because of their height. And more than likely, where they come from is a different environment, different type of gravity than what we have here. I'm pretty sure.
Density of atmosphere and gravity and such.
I'm pretty sure all three races come from a heavier world gravity than we do. Mainly because the way they just toss stuff around on a planet, unless it's mentally or equipmentally assisted. It's hard to tell. We don't get that kind of information always. But what do you mean? Why would they want to take? It could be a
combination of any of those three things.
What do you mean? Why do they want to take Charis? No. Oh, she is good looking, but that has nothing to do with why they're taking her. So they started taking her pre-birth when she was just a little ugly thing in her mama's womb. And then after she was born, they checked on her a few times. And as things went on, they checked on her. And she's a baby. She was probably introduced. And kids look at this differently than adults do. If you catch up kids when they're young, and talk to them, they'll express them as friends and my bug-eyed friends and my reptilian friends. They don't have fear of them.
Yeah.
Fear doesn't come until puberty, and that's when they're probably the nasty experiments come. But those only last 6 to 8 years. And that, when I say that, it's not like it's every day 6 to 8 years, but in that in that span, there may be some things that are unpleasurable, and it's mainly because of what they're doing. But by saying that, and don't take this wrong, humans, we do it every day. We tag animals every day, and not only we're not even as nice as the Greys. We get in helicopter, running a bear down. Oh, let me see if I can hit me in the ass. Oh, look, I got. I mean, come on. I mean, as far as I know, the Greys aren't doing that.
What I can recall when I've been regressed, and then when I started to remember,
there are some that do.
Go ahead.
What Joe was saying about shooting the bears, and I forget the gentleman's name. I was just watching his videos the other day, and he's talking about the tall whites, and I'm not sure if he's talking about Arcturians or maybe Pleiadians. He doesn't say specifically, but they were amazed with us because he interacted with them on what he called Area 53 in Nevada.
Yeah, Charles.
He said that they said to him that they were amazed that we play with our animals. We do things with our animals. We use them for work. We use them for pets. We use them for food. And he said that most of the higher races like themselves, when they got to a certain level, they killed off all the animals. Yet they're also telling us to, save our planet and do better things and preserve things. It's kind of strange. I don't understand why a higher intelligent creature would destroy all the lesser intelligent creatures on their planet. It makes no sense to me, but this guy seems legit, and he seems to really believe what they told him.
Okay.
So, well, I mean,
maybe it was like Corazon. They might be like that. I would imagine Corazon had killed at one time, had killed all the animals because it was just one planet full of, it was just but when I heard about the council city, it's like 4 or 5 times the size of our world. Well, actually, it's probably closer to the size of Jupiter. And it's a water world, basically, with a big, oh, look at this. We got up here. Oh, look at this. What? We all got black animals. That's cool. Look at that big
I've got
cat.
2 black kitty cats.
Yeah, you got to stay away from my dog. You're eating my dog.
2 of them.
Mm-hmm. She's pretty. Looks big, too.
Yeah, he's big.
Oh, he's a big boy.
15 pounds. He's been to the vet today.
18 pounds?
13, yeah. I have another one. She's bigger.
Yeah.
Big boy. What you doing, big boy? He said, yeah, mama love me, mom. I love you too, mama. Look at he's like, yeah, I love mama. He's loving the mama. I don't know, Jenny. It's all kind of scary. It's all kind of exciting. It's all kind of exhilarating. It's all kind of scary. It's not. Well, for us, for us and most people over 28, it's a different thing. There's no more of the stupid experiments. Mm-hmm. The breeding experiments are done with, if that's what you're involved with. All of that's gone now. Now you're either part of the program and want to work with the program, or you're probably just retired and they wait for you to have children. And then they pick up your children. Well, they don't abduct everybody for life. They take you pre-birth, and a lot of people will be abducted all their life.
They will still keep an eye on you.
Yeah. Well, in case they have kids or something like that, or if an ability just develops. Well, they're waiting for the next. I guess the next evolution of man is what they're waiting for. The RH negative and the icon was the last
we
revolution.
Talked years ago, Joe.
So I'm saying that was the last revolution for us. Now this is another one coming. What do you mean? Well, no, RH negative people are different than RH positive people. They are. They have different types of personalities and stuff. What do you mean? Are they smarter, better, or brighter? No, that's a wives' tale. That is true. The majority of them, our Minson members, are RH negative, but that's just because they went and took the test. Not everybody's taking the test. It's a pain in the ass test. I took it twice in school. Yes, and it's a pain in the ass test. Well, I took it because when I took the ASVAB for the Navy, one I was being given. I did pretty good on it. 160 overall. I think it was 169. But let me explain to you about that. People tell me all the time about these big IQs. Big IQ don't mean squat. If you use it, it does. But if you don't use it, it don't mean squat. It's no better than any other IQ if you're not putting it to use.
Intelligence
and you still have
quotient isn't a measure of how smart you are. It's a measure. Well, the actual quotient for the one I'm on 186, but it's not a question of how smart you are with the number. It's a question of how well you use the smarts you got. And when I was tested at 186, I was in the 6th grade. I was 8 years old, and they said that I had working knowledge of a graduating high school senior. So we're talking an 8-year-old kid that has knowledge of a 14, 15, 16-year-old kid, 17-year-old kid who's just about to graduate high school. That's how that works. It doesn't mean I've got the answers to the universe. It just means I use my information better than most.
Oh, Dean, on that question. So contactees, a lot of times, education will be above their grade level. So let's say your first year college or high school grad, your level may be a third higher, or even half, maybe almost double. And to put this in perspective, I had never read a universe in it. What the hell's going on there? What the hell just happened?
Well, Joe's gone.
Uh-oh.
He'll come back.
I don't know what happened. It's I guess my camera went wackadoodle. Well, people, I guess we'll have to track it down in a minute. Something must have come unplugged or something. But
it's a starry background we have.
Well, we even lost the background. What's going on here? We had a glitch.
Yeah.
We had a show yesterday of glitch. Ooh, StreamYard, you can't be glitching.
You must have pissed off some alien group up there. They've kiboshed your computer there.
Yeah. Like, abort.
Yeah. So you better stay away from my computer.
Send the bullet, zap his computer feed.
It's Tony. Well, you could have came to the other chat room for that question, Tony. Yeah, you could have came to the Facebook chat room. We'd all seen it. Do I love aliens? Do we love aliens? Yeah, we all love aliens.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, as much as we love people, some of them are great and some of them are not great.
She's nicer than I am. You people can, you know what?
Well, I can't say that I've met any, but I would hope that some of them are nice.
Oh no, John. Charis is way nicer than I am. Yes, she's a sweetheart compared to me. She's just a sweetheart anyway. But oh no, I don't know, because I'm not the kind of person. You mess with me, you're gonna trust me. You're not gonna like it. Well, I got a lot of friends I like to defend. I like to make sure everybody around me is safe. What do you mean spoil people? I spoil when I got the money. I'll spoil anybody. Actually, It depends. It takes a lot of money to live these days. Actually, before COVID, we were doing really good with business was booming. COVID kind of put a damper on it, and it was starting to come back. And then Cracker Joe got in office, and now none of my customers want to spend any money because they're scared that the plant is going to blow up. I'm sorry. I mean, they're nervous about the economy, really. Yeah. And well, we'll see. Yeah. We'll see what happens. We've got less than a year now to the next election, and I'm not making any predictions. I will make a prediction that it's 50-50 that out of the two presidents we had, either one of them could be running the White House from prison. So I'm not sure how that's going to work. How is a dignitary going to get invited to prison? Well, come on. We got a pool now in the prison, so y'all can come out and hang out by the pool. Y'all think I'm kidding. I'm serious. No, we got to go in a minute. All right, 2 more questions and we're out of here. Well, because the Outer Realm is on right now. Michelle's going to come over here and hurt somebody. I'm going to blame it on Jay. I'm just going to say it's Jay did it. Jay caused the problem. Charis and I are all sweet and innocent over here, minding our own business. So, yes, we'll start with Charis and we'll work our way around. So, what's his question? Why do we think the aliens are here? Okay, pick an alien. Okay, no, because the aliens here could take 2 shows, maybe 3, just to get it out. Pick an alien. What alien? Why are the reptilians here? Charis, what do you think? Why are the reptilians here?
Well, I mean, they've always been here.
It
didn't just start. Just because sometimes when people think that it just started because they just found out about it, but no, it's always been there. Look at all the ancient texts. Look at the Dogons, like you were talking about earlier, Joe. They're here. It's my understanding that Earth is part of a project to create something important that has to do with consciousness and matter. And that's why we're seeded by so many different star races, both on purpose and accidentally. And so I believe that Earth is a unique thing, and that's why we're so interesting to so many different races. I don't think so many different races are always checking in on every planet with sentient life on it. But something about Earth specifically and something about humans specifically are rare. And there's a point of evolution that we're pointing toward. And it's like the ups and downs and the crazy and the drama between here and there. And so why the reptilians are here, I think there's some of them that harvest in a negative way and that like to cause drama and do bad stuff. And I also think that some of them are invested in the evolution of humanity so we can drop that divine spark down into matter, because that's part of what we're doing here. So again, it depends on which race you're talking about. There are so many, and even inside the races, there are different agendas. So that's me. How about y'all?
What's up, Uncle Jay?
Well, I think the reptilians are here for a couple of reasons. One is I think it's a bifurcated race, and bifurcated means split in two, similar to what you see in Star Trek with the Vulcans and the Romulans, where they're cousins really now, since they've been so far apart for so many thousands of years. So my speculation is that the dinosaurs, or maybe a era or epoch of dinosaurs before they were destroyed, got into outer space, and that's what those Draco reptilians are. They're coming back to Earth, and they're still some of their cousins are still on the planet, living allegedly underground. I have no proof on that. So I think that's part of it. I think the other reason they're coming here is their planet's resources are dwindling, and they're coming here for food. And I think part of their food might be us, which is why some of us are abducted and don't come back. That's not a good thing. And I agree with with Charis on the planet thing. There's something special about our planet, whether it's the location. Our solar system is unique in this galaxy because we're kind of between spiral arms. Like there's a bunch of solar systems here, and there's a bunch of solar systems here, but we're right in the middle between solar arms. We're literally out in the countryside. We're by ourselves. So our solar system hasn't been overly mined or the resources taxed to any degree. So that's probably the other main reason. But there's also probably a strategic reason. And if you look throughout our planet, there are at least 3 or 4 highly still radioactive. We can walk through them now, but they're still highly radioactive areas. There's one on Saudi Peninsula. There's Göbekli Tepe is overly radioactive. There's what's the other one? I think it's also in Turkey. There's several places that exhibit nuclear explosions, and not the kind like a uranium deposit might explode, but a man-made nuclear explosion. And we have verified evidence of 2 huge explosions on Mars that are probably the ones that destroyed the atmosphere and melted or steamed off most of the water. So there's some sort of war going on, and we're part of that. We're in the middle of it. We may actually have some of our abductees being part of that war. They may be cannon fodder. So there's quite a few reasons. And again, depending on the race, it could be war, it could be resources, it could be simply they're scientifically interested in our species and our evolution.
That's pretty good. That's what was that, Chris? No, well, no, because like the war thing, I think the war's been over for a while, but it's I think that's what the reptilians, not the reptilians, I think that's what the light beings put it into. That's what the Greys were created for, the end of war, because it wasn't just a war between the reptilians and humans. It was a cosmos. It was raging through our entire galaxy.
It had been for thousands, even tens of thousands.
Yeah, it had been for a long. All of a sudden, that's what they said. They said it had been raging forever, and then the light beings just showed up one day from a different galaxy. They found the Greys on this other side of our galaxy, and this started building them into the race that was going to become the galactic. And ever since then, that's what they've been doing. They just went out there and put an end to the war. I guess they would have been like the Asgard in some ways, but they put a stop to it. It's also why they were on Earth, because the reptilians were here. Half the reptilians, or at least a third of reptilians, never left. And the problem was when they came out of hibernation and found the humans, they were a little bit pissed. But that's not actually what the Nemos woke the reptilians, because Nemos are also reptilians. They landed with the Dogon and actually woke up the other ones that were here, at least part of the ones that were here. And that's when they started screwing around with the Sumerian humans. the ones that were created by human aliens. That's when they started screwing around with them. But if I remember right, it's either 11. There's 11 species of reptilian. They all have something different. They all live on different worlds. Dogon, and I always thought Dogon was a home world. I found out recently it is not the home world, that it's one of the colonies. I think altogether they have more than 100 colonies. And so they've been around a long time. I think 600 or 700 million years they've been blowing around through the god. Them and the humans have been for a long time. The actual Greys are actually older than they are. But that's what the Greys tell you there. When you talk to contactees and you ask specific questions and you have them ask the Greys, that's what the Greys say they are. That's what they are scared of they're scared of the Greys. That proves something in itself, that these big beings are scared of these little gray things. But there are things like I've heard about the reptilians, like they have these big cities with these big, huge crystal libraries, and it's just a big dome, and inside the dome there's little pedestals with these crystal balls on them. You just touch it, and whatever you think about comes to the ball, and then is put into your head. So they sound like in a lot of ways are a very sophisticated society. But in the same aspect, they seem to be not as sophisticated as they should be, because the males or the females think they can take any human. Well, not just that. The alpha male, alpha female think they can take anybody inside their tribe and do anything they want with them. They also feel like that about any humans that are related to them. That's why they don't eat us, because most of us are related to some family line now. You can't eat your family line. It's even the reptilians think that's a no. But that no telling when that happened. That took a while before they started. What do you mean? Well, would you want to eat a human? I mean, we're high in cholesterol, kind of nasty, full of pollution. No telling what kind of diseases we have. I mean, really. No, they didn't eat the cows. We're not. Cattle mutilation is not. No, it's not. It's not
about food.
And it's not about food. It's not about aliens. No, it's about their Uncle Sam. I know y'all get mad at me when I talk about it, but I proved it. We even talked to somebody at the government who admitted to it. Yes, they were doing it to monitor. They still are doing it to monitor radiation in those areas. The pieces the cows are taking are only to places where radiation would accumulate quickly. And
like in the Midwest, yeah.
Yeah, and everywhere these ranches are inside of drop zones for nuclear bombs. And the kicker was that the cows were insured. Let's be honest. Do you really think the Gray or the reptilian human is going to give a good blank if the cow's insured? No. They're not going to care. They're not going to care. And I don't think they would have left it there. I think they would have just took it. Only somebody who wanted, because they couldn't go around killing, the government couldn't go around killing a bunch of cows and stuff and taking them because no claim. But with the body, there's a claim. It's just too coincidental, people. And I remember when I talked to the sheriff somewhere in Arizona, but he's like, damn, I never thought about that, but I guess you're right. And so even after that, it kind of changed, but Linda Moulton House still swears the aliens are taking it because those parts are delicacies. Well, why don't you just take some cows home and breed them some bitches and eat as many delicacies as you want?
Yeah. Or better yet, they probably have a machine in their wall that they can go up to and go, tea, hot, extra sugar, and boom, there it is. Or, give me a cow burger, extra hot, boom.
All right, guys, I got one more question and we got to get out of here. What was it? I seen it go by, but somebody's going to have to next one that comes up. Okay, wait. No, it's too complicated to get into, but God and ET. So before you go there, you can have God and you can have extraterrestrials. Matter of fact, if you go read the Bible, New and Old Testament, you'll find out that they make allotments for that, other beings in the cosmos.
Yeah, and that depends on how you define God. But the way that I see it is God is not human. I don't think God has cuticles or eyelashes. And so I feel like saying that the whole fight between God and science, it's like if we picked up a pen and wrote on the paper and someone said, no, it couldn't have been a human, it was the pen and the paper. That doesn't mean you didn't write with the pen on the paper. I think saying God shouldn't exist because there are elephants. It's the same. Of course, there could be elephants and God. The way I define God is the consciousness of everything that exists, all anthropomorphized into one. The way that we have different fingers and toes and liver cells and skin cells and whatever, but we're one being. So of course, Like, yeah, the two don't fight at all. I don't understand that way of thinking, but that's with how I define God.
What you think, Jay? I got in trouble the other day for talking about God. So
Yeah, I think I'm a little different than Charis. I think God is a concept created by men, and I think it's a concept created by men to control the thoughts, feelings, and actions of other men. I don't think that I don't think there's an actual types of beings that are out there that can do the things that God is said to have done in the Bible. But we've had gods before that. We've had, Zeus and all the Greek mythos and whatnot. And I don't think those were gods either. I think those were actual flesh and blood people or creatures from other planets that looked very much like us or had some technology that made them to look like us. And we heightened them to the status of God. Now, the galactic consciousness, I agree. There's something to that. The ghost stories. I've done some. I haven't done any ghost investigations, but I have watched a lot of ghost stuff, and I think there's something to that. I think there are some things that are trying to contact us from the other side, beings that were once creatures, humans like us, and they're trying to say something from the other side. But we can't record that. We don't have any science. We don't have high tech enough to record ghosts from the other side. We don't have any kind of scientific data to prove the existence of a god, but we can prove the existence of high technology beings because poof, here we are. We have a high degree of technology, maybe not the highest. And if we were to go back, even right today, if tomorrow we all went to some very exotic place that these some natives had never seen someone like us, and we pull out a cell phone, they're going to think that we're some sort of god. So that the concept of God, I think, is something that's in the brain of the beholder. I don't think there's such a thing as an actual creature that could be considered a god. There may be. The universe is vast. I could be wrong, but until we can prove otherwise.
Are you saying Q doesn't exist? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Q exists, man. Q exists.
There's a Q out there. I mean, there are
And
some.
I heard God just talking to you a minute ago.
There was some high technology that can do things that are like Q or Trelane, the guy that they modeled Q off of from the original series. I guarantee you, there. I mean, going back 100 years and getting someone who, even just a modern cowboy who has a handgun and has seen a car drive down New York, you bring him forward to this day, he's going to think he's in heaven or some other world. He wouldn't believe the things that we can do today, even though there's some books back then that have, what's his name, Jules Verne. There are some of his books that were around during the Civil War. We have the stuff that's in his books. They wouldn't believe it, even if they saw it.
Yeah, creators are weird things for me. So it's, and the creator was trying to tell you God was just trying to tell you something when you was talking. I heard him behind you making noise. So people, and this always gets me in trouble, don't forget, God spelled backwards is what? Dog. And what is the most loyal animal on the planet to man is dog. Well, what I'm saying is,
you want to hear a good anecdote?
Yeah.
So it's actually a joke, but it makes a pretty good anecdote. So there's a gentleman, he's in the ocean, he falls off a boat and he starts drowning. He starts to pray. He's like, "Dear God, please save my life." So another boat comes by and they say, "Hey, can we help you out?" He says, "No, my God will take care of me." So the boat continues on. He's like, "Dear God, please, I'm drowning. Please send some help. I need help." So a Marine helicopter flies by and the guy comes down on a rope. It's like, "Can we help you?" And the guy says, No, my God is taking care of it. I'll be okay." The helicopter flies away. And finally he goes, "God, please, I really need to be rescued." So a fisherman in a little boat comes by and says, "Hey, can I help you, buddy?" He's like, "No, my God's got me. I'm okay." The fisherman floats away and the guy drowns. And he gets up to heaven. He's like, "God, why didn't you help me? I prayed for you to help me." He's like, "Dude, I sent a boat, a Marine helicopter, and a fisherman."
I know. What do you want, dude?
So if there is a God, we may not recognize it. You never know, because he acts and deals with us in mysterious ways. So says the Bible.
Yes.
Well, the problem
do the whole cosmos, something that's bigger than the whole cosmos. We're on this one little island of Earth and we think this is everything. And it's one teeny tiny little piece of what's going on. So there's a concept of I believe we're in a fractal universe. So if we have consciousness, then there are larger fractals of consciousness. But I don't think they look like us. So I think that a larger fractal of consciousness is what people call God. But then you have all the ways that humans have twisted it and made it weird for social control and things like that. And so that's different. So it's like that's why I said, well, what do you define God as? Because I don't think it's a guy with a beard on a cloud. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. But people want to think different things, so whatever.
Well,
I think of it like a beach. There's so many people. There's there's so many creatures in the universe, and probably more than you can find. More galaxies and more living planets in this universe that you can find grains of sand on all of the beaches in the universe. And do you think there's going to be a God out there who cares if one little piece of sand goes missing? Even if that piece of sand prays for help, is he going to be able to help that one little piece of sand? I mean, come on, to think about it, how just the vastness of the universe. There may be a consciousness that I don't think the consciousness is really listening to us or even really gives a shit.
Well, I get in trouble for that all the time too. When I tell people all the time, stop bugging Jesus. There's 8 billion of y'all bugging the shit out the man. Leave him alone. I'm sure God's up there probably got the Apple tune turned up as loud as he can get it. I'm like, I mean, come on. And I said, think about all the dead people that are already up there. I said, there's 8 billion here and 20 billion up there. God knows what's in the universe itself.
Right.
I'm like, that's a lie. I said, if I was God, I'd just slam my door and say, leave me the bleep alone.
Yeah. No,
but getting back to the dog thing, because Jack, no, really. So when they made the word God, it is legitimately dog spelled backwards. So, and I was saying the only animal that jumped across the chasm to stay with man at the great collapse of the universe when we switched over to this life form was the dog. It's the only one that came with us. Everybody else stayed on the other side and said, "Oh, screw them, man. They're crazy." And dog today, easily, if you believe in God, ladies and gentlemen, if you believe in God, ladies and gentlemen, dog could simply be God made manifest on the planet, keeping an eye on your sorry little asses. Because I notice people who own dogs tend to be very happy. People and cats are too.
I have a nice dog here. I'm not a dog. I've never had a dog before. But listen, there is actual research. They cannot find any root causes or words, as all of our other English words come from mostly Europe. They can find no root word for dog. All the root words for dog are canine. No D in it whatsoever.
That's right, because God said, I need to let these stupid humans know I'm going to give them something to keep an eye on them. But no, humans be humans like we are. We can't help ourselves. We're ignorant. Yeah, we ignorant people. If you don't think we're ignorant, take a look around on the planet and then tell me we're not ignorant. I've got a lot of hope for our race. I have a lot. I think the humans, when you look at some of the things we've created, like Mozart and some of the art we've created and some of the beauty we've created, and just even some of the lessons we've created, we're a great species. But by saying that, we're just as ignorant as we are smart.
Jazz.
So somehow or another, we've got to learn some kind of balance. We can't just live on the far ends all the time. It's just not going to happen. Sooner or later, it's going to crack the planet. I said, we've got to learn balance. Yeah, we'll talk about that on Friday's show. But we've talked about religious tolerance. You have to, if you want a peaceful world, you got to get rid of money. Technically, you should get rid of religion, but all you really have to have is religious. You just got to be It doesn't matter what the Muslims think or the Jews think or the Catholics think. None of it matters. It's their religion. You shouldn't get upset because somebody bleeds differently than you do. That's just ignorance. And well, it's true their God's better. When you get on the other side, their God will go, ha ha, you should have listened to him. But come on. No, people, you can't do that. We got to go. No, we got to go. Charis got a life. I got a life. Jay's got 4 women waiting for him. I mean, this is crazy. Yeah, he started the harem last week. I'm not sure why.
4 cats, 1 dog.
I told him I thought he was crazy, Yeah. What do you mean? Oh, yeah, it's true. I do have 4 bitches living in the house with me. Yes, I do. Yes, it's just me and 4 bitches. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I'm going to get smacked later for that, I'm sure, about one of them, but still.
Yeah. You're not getting a hot meal when you get off of this radio.
Y'all be sure to check out Charis. She's all over the place. Just type in her name. It'll be on the website so you can find her. She's really easy to find. She's got a lot of good stuff. I love listening to her talk. She's got a great voice, and she's usually got a lot of good information, and sometimes she's even funny too. So it's kind of fun. And of course, the other day she posted this picture. It looked like Medusa. I was like, "What the hell is this, man?" That shadow picture. I swear, it looks like Medusa. Posted a picture. It's a cool picture, but for some reason, the head. What are you wearing, curlers or something? It looks like Medusa. You know that picture?
I don't even know. You'll have to tell me which one you mean. I'm not even sure.
There was some picture you had up there. It was just a picture of a shadow against the fence. It was a person, whoever it was. And just the head looked like just the top layer of the hair is, I guess, looked like Medusa. I thought maybe it was some curlers.
I don't even know. I have to go
if I see it again, I'll send it to you. But
yeah,
no, she's not Medusa, dumbass. that was just stupid. What do we have? 12-year-olds in the chat room tonight? I mean, come on. Remember, guys and girls, y'all get me in trouble with Michelle when y'all don't come in the YouTube or the Facebook things. I know I own the network, but she's still a boss. Yeah, she's the boss. I don't know. She's the boss. I don't fight with her. She's the boss. Any manager I've ever had on this network is the boss. I may own it, but they're the boss. Because I can't go around second guessing my managers. Why have one? Yeah. Well, if it's something she want to deal with, she'll call me and say, "What deal with this bleep, 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 bleep." I can't use her language on the radio, but there's a lot of bleeps in there, as I can tell. She is. I call her the Elvira.
She uses a lot of sentence enhancers.
Yeah. No, I really do. I call her the Elvira of Canada. No, she's horny, weird like that. Yes. If look, if somebody's died there or been killed there or murdered there, she wants to go sleep in the bed. She stayed at Blad and Paler's Castle. I mean, come on, the woman's insane. Not just that. Anyway, it doesn't matter where. It's been one of the places where
in her radio room.
Yeah, if she got all kinds of stuff. Oh, I made a move. She has a picture of Blad, the Impaler, right? And when she first started doing radio for me, when I stole her from Niagara Falls radio station, the thing's eyes always looked like it was moving. I said, thing's got to go. I said, you got to move it. I can't be watching. That's got to go. What do you mean? No, I do tell my host. I tell my host about a lot of things: hair, colors, dye, things they do, backgrounds. Oh yeah, look, I'm not bashful about that kind of stuff because if they don't look good, we don't look good. Oh yeah. Well, most of our hosts are really, really pick up now and pay attention to what they look like, what their backgrounds look like, or they put up whatchamacallit backgrounds, green screen backgrounds, stuff like that. But we got to go. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to United Public Radio.
Background like that.
We had the great Charis Melina Brown with us tonight. She's just like I said, she's all over. You can find her. Just look her up on Facebook or Instagram. Don't sass her because she will smack you. What did I tell you? Did I just not tell you how we got to go? I'm turning y'all off. I ain't even looking over there anymore. Hold on. That way I won't get distracted anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to United Public Radio, UFO Undercover. I hope everyone has a great evening, great morning, great afternoon, wherever you're on this glorious big blue planet of ours. And look, think peace, people. There y'all go. Think peace. Yes. Especially for them morons in the Ukraine and in Israel. Yes. I'm not taking any side. Tune in Friday and you'll hear. No, I still won't be taking a side, but tune in Friday and you'll hear. Because it's too complicated for now. We got to go. Thanks again for hanging out, everybody. Be sure to tune in to The Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano. Yes, I don't want Amelia slapping on me either. She slaps pretty hard. Or she teases me with food, which is even worse.
Yeah, she sends a lot of food porn on Facebook.
She does. Boy, she is a food porn expert. Yeah, I've been calling her FT for a long time. Food tease, yes. Yes, I'm not kidding you. I mean, since I met the girl, she likes to cook. What can I tell you? Anyway, good night, everyone, and stay tuned. Go check out The Outer Realm with, again, Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano. And I hope to see y'all Friday night. If not, hope to see you next Wednesday. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, Friday night is a political show. We will be talking politics, and we may offend some people. Yes, we may. Good night, everybody.